Good afternoon from Gas South Arena in Duluth, Georgia, as the Atlanta Gladiators host the Greenville Swamp Rabbits in the rubber match of a 3-in-3 this weekend. Good afternoon, everybody. Guy Chiarenza here with you on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. Greenville won Saturday's game 2-1. Atlanta won Sunday's game 3-1. And the rubber match here today from Gas South Arena will determine the Gladiators' fate heading into their longest road trip of the season, starting in South Carolina on Friday, as the Gladiators have been dominant against Greenville this season with a record of 7-2 in the season series. The first one went to Greenville, the next 6 to Atlanta, and then the matchup this weekend. Greenville won on Saturday, Atlanta on Sunday, and I'm unsure as to who's going to win today, but something is for certain, and there's going to be a lot of fun in store. The Gladiators looking to improve to 23-9 before their biggest road trip of the year, as with their win yesterday, they improved to 22-9 on the season. Now have 44 points on the campaign, sitting in third place in the South Division. Greenville, with the loss yesterday, fell to 14-15-4. 32 points on the season has them sitting in fifth on the outside looking in what has been an up-and-down season for Chad Costello's Greenville Swamp Rabbits. It is the 10th of 14 meetings this season. We have seen a lot of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits this year. Next meeting will be on February 11th in Greenville, so the Gladiators will get a little bit of a break again from the Swamp Rabbits here coming up as they head out to Florida and South Carolina over the next 2 weeks or so. So Greenville won 2-1 on Saturday. Gladiators won 3-1 in this building yesterday, and here is how they did it. All goals were scored in the second period. It's the seventh time the Gladiators have scored 3 goals in a single period this year. Joey Cipollone got things started, ended up finishing off with a 1 goal and 1 assist performance as he tipped in a Ryan Francis shot to get things started for the Gladiators last night at the top of the second period. Atlanta had a 1-0 lead, and then blink and you miss it. 73 seconds later, they double that lead, as it was Ryan Nolan scoring on the power play for his second power play goal of the season. Ryan Nolan now with 3 points in his last 2 games, as Nolan this year has been a great acquisition for the Gladiators this year. Make that a goal and 3 assists in his last 4 for Ryan Nolan, who's really turned it on as of late, as Carson Denemy added to the Gladiators' lead, making it a 3-0 Gladiators lead. Heading towards the end of the second period, Denemy, 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 6, as the third line really showed out for the Gladiators yesterday, as Ryan Francis finishes with his best performance of the year. 3 assists for his first 3-point game of the season. Atlanta had that 3-0 lead wiped away late in the second period, as it was Keaton Mastrodonado scoring on the power play for Greenville with 17 seconds left in the period to make it a 3-1 game, and it ended up being a 3-1 final, as Ethan Hyder shut down the Swamp Rabbits, stopping 30 of 31 for his 29th win in a Gladiators uniform, which means today, if Ethan Hyder and the Gladiators skate out of the building with a victory, Hyder picks up win number 30 in his Gladiators career and passes Craig Kowalski for 5th place on the Gladiators all-time wins list. Atlanta went 1 for 2 on the power play last night, 2 for 3 on the penalty kill. Ryan O'Hara had an assist on Mastrodonado's power play goal and now has 3 assists in his last 3 games. And for Greenville, their power play has been woeful this season. While it has gotten better with power play goals in back-to-back games against these Gladiators, it is still statistically the worst power play in the ECHL, sitting at just 11%. But it has been better as of late, so we'll keep an eye on that special teams battle here today between the Gladiators and the Swamp Rabbits. Matthias Scholl got the start last night for Greenville, stopping 38-41, and what ended up being a season-high 41 shots on goal for the Gladiators last night. It was a good night to be a Gladiator. It was a good night to be a member of that third line, consisting of Joey Cipollone, Carson Denemy, and Ryan Francis. And the Gladiators will look to get a little bit more help from their depth here today, as Matt Ginn, Gladiators head coach, is off in Allen for the All-Star game, as is goaltender TJ Semptenfelter and forward Jack O'Brien. So we wish them the best here tonight in Allen. You can catch the 2026 All-Star Classic at 7 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network, and wish our guys the best of luck and have lots of fun. Today, it is assistant coach Zach Fennell leading the charge as the Gladiators look to take the rubber match here today against the Swamp Rabbits. Coming up next year in the pregame show from Gas South Arena, we'll have the keys to the game presented by Beaver Toyota and Mazda with our assistant coach Zach Vanell. And we'll also take a look at our starting lineups here today as the Gladiators host the Swamp Rabbits in the 10th meeting of the season between these two clubs. All that coming up right after this on the Gladiators Broadcast Network.
Tonight's game is brought to you by the ECHL, celebrating its 38th season of affordable family entertainment. The ECHL would like to thank everyone in attendance for your support of ECHL hockey. The ECHL would also like to recognize the following league sponsors: AMI Graphics, exclusive signage provider; Athletic Knit, official jersey supplier; Baron Rings, official championship ring supplier; BFL Canada Insurance and Sutton Special Risk, sponsors of the 2026 ECHL Hall of Fame induction ceremony; Dash, official mobile auction platform; The Fairley Group, official commercial insurance provider; Flow Sports, exclusive streaming provider; Hotel Planner, official hotel reservations partner; Howie's Hockey Tape, exclusive hockey tape and lace provider; In Glasgow, exclusive puck provider; Prolific One, exclusive secondary ticketing partner; and Warrior, exclusive on-ice equipment provider and title sponsor of the 2026 ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch all of the ECHL action live in high definition by logging on to flowhockey.tv.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 piggy bag. So how could you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track.
We don't just straighten you out, we empower you. We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous. Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cool. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you could win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Welcome to Gas South Arena, home of the Atlanta Gladiators, as they host the Greenville Swamp Rabbits in the rubber match of a 3-3. Greenville took Saturday night's matchup by the final score of 2-1. Atlanta won yesterday with a big second period from the third line, 3-1. And today is anybody's game as the Gladiators play on a Monday for the first time this year. Atlanta sitting at 22-9 on the season, sit in third place in the South Division right now. Greenville 14-15 and 4 on the outside looking in fifth place in the South Division. Gladiators looking to pick up another win before they head off to South Carolina to start their longest road trip of the season on Friday, and what will be a 7-game roadie before the Gladiators come back to this building on February 4th to host the Florida Everblades on a Wednesday night. All right, let's take a look at our keys to the game, presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda, with our assistant coach, Zach Fennell, who is taking the reins here today, as we wish Matt Ginn, the head coach, TJ Semptenfelter, and Jack O'Brien the best as they are off in Allen for the All-Star Classic here tonight. You can catch the All-Star Classic on NHL Network at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. For the Gladiators here today, we are just about coming up on game time as Atlanta looks to pull away with another victory against Greenville. First key to the game is communication. Zach Fennell wants his guys to communicate clearly and execute clearly, and that certainly starts with good communication on the ice. Gladiators had that last night, stuck to their A game after a scoreless first period, lit the lamp 3 times in the second period, and got back to the basics, held their structure in the third, and ended up skating away with their 22nd victory of the season. And the second key is mentality. Despite a scoreless first period and only 1 goal for on Saturday, the Gladiators' confidence never wavered. They stuck with that mentality, a positive attitude. They were able to gut out a victory last night against the Swamp Rabbits. And finally, the third key is habits. The Gladiators just need to have good habits here today. Can't be careless with the puck. Have to make sure that you're making the right plays at the right times. Don't cheat. Don't get lazy. Make sure you play a full 200-foot game, and that will get the job done for Zach Fennell's Atlanta Gladiators here today in their 10th meeting of the season against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. First key for the Gladiators is communication. As we communicate here to you today, Atlanta is hosting Sensory Friendly Night here today in Gas South Arena. And so the lights will remain on, and there will be no loud noises throughout the course of the building. And so that'll bring us to the keys to the game, presented by Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda. All right, let's get to the starting lineups here today between the Swamp Rabbits and the Gladiators. We will start with the visitors in Greenville. We will start with number 10, Brent Peterson, the veteran, getting the start at left wing, standing at 6'3", 215 pounds, native of Arthur, Ontario. Gets the nod for Greenville. 9 points in 32 games on the season for Peterson, former 5th-round draft pick of the Carolina Hurricanes back in 2013. His starting center here today is number 12, Ben Poisson, standing at 6'1", 196, native of Vancouver, British Columbia. Centers that line with 3 goals and 2 assists for 5 points in 25 games this season. His starting right wing here today, who had skated as a defenseman over the last 2 games, is number 95, Big John Parker Jones, standing at 6'7", 230, native of Brantford, Ontario, is under contract with the Swamp Rain. Parker Jones on the season with Greenville has 2 goals and 2 assists for 4 points in 18 games. Getting the start on the back end for Greenville, number 40, Parker Berg, standing at 6 foot even, 181, native of Edmonton, Alberta, is also under contract with Ontario, and this season with the Swamp Rabbits has 5 goals and 6 assists for 11 points in 29 games. He'll be paired with number 5, Jake Murray, standing at 6'3", 216, native of Oakville, Ontario. Rounds out the starting 5 skaters for Greenville with 10 points in 30 games to the tune of 2 goals and 8 assists for the Swamp Rabbits. Getting the start in net today for Greenville is number 31, Isaiah Seville, standing at 6'1", 196, native of Anchorage, Alaska, is under contract with Ontario and hasn't spent a whole lot of time with Greenville this season, but when he has played with Greenville, he has been good, and he has had the Gladiators' number Seville, with a record of 4-4 on the season, has 2 of those wins against the Gladiators. With the goals against average of 2.5 and a 924 save percentage, it's been a good season for the former 5th-round draft pick of the Vegas Golden Knights back in 2019. Last time we saw Seville was on Saturday night at Bon Secours Wellness Arena. He stopped 24 of 25 in what was a 2-1 win for Greenville. Other notes for the Swamp Rabbits is they are actually down a man here today. Wade Murphy out of the lineup due to illness, and so they end up dressing 11 forwards and 6 defensemen. So they have a hole on their 4th line with Remy Parker and Jack Brackett. As Chad Costello, the head coach of the Swamp Rabbits, and associate coach Jason Payne, are going to have to find a way to make do with what they've got here today. As Greenville comes to Atlanta for the rubber match. Turn our attention now to the Atlanta Gladiators and their starting lineup here today. As getting the start at left wing is number 27, Mike McNamee, standing at 6 foot even 200, native of Perth, Ontario, skating in his 3rd game back after missing the prior 11 due to an injury. McNamee looked good on Saturday night. Didn't get on the stat sheet last night either, but it feels like he is due. McNamee on the season, 3 goals and 5 assists for 8 points in 20 games. His starting center here today is number 37, Ethan Scardina, standing at 6'1", 192 pounds, rookie out of Bowling Green State. Scardina has had a good rookie year so far, 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points in 29 games, but that stat line really doesn't tell the story of how well Scardina has played this season. He's been an excellent forechecker and has gotten the job done when his name has been called. He'll center that line with McNamee to his left, and number 24, Ryan Nolan, getting the start to his right, standing at 6'1", 198. Nolan added another goal to his total last night on the power play, bringing his season's totals to 9 goals and 11 assists for 20 points in 31 games. Spent the majority of last year in Fayetteville in the SBHL, got some time in Adirondack on loan, ended up scoring a goal and 2 assists in 16 games with the Thunder. Got a chance from Mac in the offseason to sign a standard player contract, and has been an excellent addition for this team this season. Nolan looked to remain the hot hand as he has 1 goal and 3 assists in his last 4, including that power play goal yesterday. Getting the start on the back end, number 39, Chad Nychuk, standing at 6'1", 194. Nychuk, the native of Rossburn, Manitoba, is under contract with the Gladiators AHL affiliate, the Milwaukee Admirals. And boy, what a year he has had. If every team got more than 1 representative at the All-Star Classic, and yes, the Gladiators do have 2, but technically Jack O'Brien is Iowa's representative. He was just traded afterwards. There is certainly a good case as to why Nychuk should be going to Allen as well. 3 goals and 22 assists for 25 points in 30 games. Just had a sensational year so far this season, as Nychuk is tied for the team lead in points with 25. He'll be paired up with number 21, Jack Mateer, who is under contract with the Gladiators NHL affiliate, the Nashville Predators. Standing at 6'6", 205, Mateer hails from Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, and has a goal and 3 assists for 4 points in 20 games this season. Mateer is a former 4th-round draft pick of the Nashville Predators back in 2021. And getting the start between the pipes for the Gladiators here today, number 31, Ethan Hyder, standing at 6'4", 190, native of Maple Grove, Minnesota, is under contract with Milwaukee and has had an underrated season so far this year, as Hyder, in 16 games this season, has a record of 11-4, a 2.55 goals against average, and a 920 save percentage. Hyder here today can earn win number 30 in a Gladiators uniform, which would give him sole possession of 5th place all-time on the Gladiators wins list, passing Craig Kowalski with 30 wins in a Gladiator uniform. He is at 29 right now with his win yesterday, as he stopped 30 of 31 in the 3-1 win against Greenville. We'll see what Ethan Hyder, former 5th-round draft pick of the Nashville Predators back in 2019, has up his sleeve here today, as it's back-to-back starts for Hyder as the Gladiators look for back-to-back wins. His backup here today is number 30, Carter McPhail. The Gladiators with O'Brien out and Sempefilter as well. The first line has been modified a bit, with Alex Young jumping up to that top line with Sylvester to his left, Walter to his right. Second line looks a little bit different as well, with Scardina in the center position with McNamee and Nolan. Third line remains the same, and it's hard to break up that group with the way that they played last night. Cipollone with Denemy and Francis. And on the fourth line, we'll see Mickey Burns with number 23, Riley Appelt, and number 11, Zach Yoder. the natural defenseman acting as a forward here today. Nychuk and Matir get the start on the back end. Conroy and Karabia are your two defensemen on the second pairing, and Andrew Jarvis remains with Nolan Orzek for the second straight game as the Gladiators' third and final defense pairing. Non-dressers here today: O'Brien, Simptonfelter out to the All-Star game. Brendan Less still out due to injury. Peter Morgan will not dress as well for Atlanta here today. As the Gladiators head coach is Matt Ginn. He's also the director of hockey operations and has very much earned a spot in the All-Star Classic this season. And for my money, certainly the front runner for Coach of the Year this season. Has this team at a 22-9 record at this stage in the year, but today taking the reins is assistant coach Zach Fennell, along with the equipment manager Ben Ellis. Our athletic trainer is Nick Nelson. Three-man officiating crew here today, led by Ryan Siegel, number 42. Linesmen are Noah Akamad, right, number 62. And Kyle Gaspari wearing number 67. And so that sets the stage nicely for the rubber match here today between the Atlanta Gladiators and the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. We'll take a quick break here on the pregame show, and when we come back, we will have first period puck drop in the national anthem between the Gladiators and the Swamp Rabbits. We're back after this.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 piggy bag. So how could he spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Sometimes life's collisions leave us feeling off balance. But at 100% Chiropractic, we know how to get you back on track.
We don't just straighten you out, we empower you. We educate you on how to get to the root cause and give you a play-by-play strategy on how to get you back to 100%.
We even use lasers.
Lasers!
Our $49 first experience includes a complete set of comprehensive chiropractic x-rays, a fit 3D scan, and your first life-changing adjustment. Visit us and break the ice. Discover the power of chiropractic care at 100%.
When you need inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger. For thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals. And low prices that add up to big savings, like over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
The Gladiators have hit the ice for this matchup in the South Division. Atlanta and Greenville renewing the I-85 rivalry one more time this week. Third game in 3 days for both of these squads. Gladiators coming out of the tunnel right now, wearing their blue jerseys with Gladiator gold numbers in trim. They will escape from right to left to begin play here today. For Greenville, they are wearing their white jerseys with orange numbers and blue trim. Skating from left to right. It is the third straight time we have seen this jersey matchup in the three-game slate. Atlanta has been dominant in this building this season with a 13-3 record at home. One of those losses did come to Greenville, but otherwise the Gladiators have been very tough to beat in this building this season. We'll see if they can get the job done one more time before they head off to the road for a 7-game road trip. It is the rubber match between these two teams. Greenville won on Saturday. Gladiators won on Sunday. Atlanta is 1-0 in rubber matches this season, winning on Sunday, December 7th, 3-2 against Jacksonville in the only other instance. That'll do it for the Gladiators pregame show here today. Coming up next, God Bless America and the National Anthem. We are all set and ready to go from Gas South Arena. It is the Atlanta Gladiators hosting the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, one of the ECHL's best rivalries. The I-85 rivalry, Atlanta and Greenville doing it for the 199th time. These two teams know each other very well, not just this season, but throughout the course of the years. Greenville have been a franchise for a couple of different iterations. The Ground, the Road Warriors, and now the Swamp Rabbits. But this matchup, 199 all-time. Atlanta has been good against Greenville in the past, and they've been great against them this season. Gladiators this year, 7-2 against the Swamp Rabbits. In the all-time matchup, Atlanta is 93, 86, and 18 against Greenville. Ethan Hyder gets the start for the Gladiators. He has been excellent, and dare I say, underrated this season. Hyder, with a record of 11-4, has a 2.55 goals against average and a .920 save percentage. Going up against Isaiah Seville with a record of 4-4, 2.5 goals against average and a .924 save percentage. It's shaping up to be a good one, as it'll be Ethan Scardina to meet Ben Poisson at center circle to get us started. Three-man officiating crew here today, led by Ryan Siegel, wearing number 42. Linesman Noah Ackerman, wearing number 62, and Kyle Gaspari, wearing number 67. Puck is down. Gladiators have won it, and away we go on Martin Luther King Jr. Day here in Duluth. Gladiators shimmy it down to the trapezoid where it's collected by the Swamp Rabbits. They'll toss it up the wall where the Gladiators are able to slap it back onto the tape of Parker Burr, defenseman under contract with Ontario. Slings it to the far side. Greenville trying to get out, but good work from this McNamee, Scardina, and Nolan trio to force them to the outside. Poisson will dig his way deep to the end wall where he shoved off it by Nightchuck. Scardina with the free puck, jolts it up to Nolan. Quick tap from McNamee, and they punch it down to Greenville ice and get on for the first line change of the day. Loose puck at center. Gladiators scrub it off the stick of Lovell. Young fighting at center circle. Can't take the reins on it. And so O'Reilly will shuffle in on the right side. Gets checked hard by Conroy. Divorces him from the puck. Atlanta moves up ice. Here is Young drifting right. Takes a shot. Glove save Seville. The first of the afternoon. That coming 1:01 into period one as the Gladiators register the first shot of the game. Faceoff will be to the left of Seville. It is going to be Alex Young to take the faceoff against Ryan O'Reilly. Young this season tied for the team lead in points with 25. Wins the faceoff cleanly, but it splits the D. Conroy hunts it down, moving with Carabia. He'll get there first, knock it to Conroy. Off the wall, Young returns it to Carabia. He'll move it up ice for Sylvester. Flying through the neutral zone, hits Walter on the fly. Walter centers, Sylvester bobbles. Young will punch it in. Gladiators strike first. 1:23 into the contest. Alex Young shows up on time, and the Gladiators strike first in back-to-back games. Sylvester had it in the slot, bobbled it a bit, put it on goal. Ends up going off the pad of Seville, and Young was there waiting for it. He punches it in, and Atlanta has an early 1-0 lead. So Alex Young, in the absence of Jack O'Brien, gets promoted to the top line and strikes early, picking up his 10th goal of the season, now giving him the team lead in points with 26. Cody Sylvester with the assist, moves to 22 points on the season. Sylvester now with 2 goals and 5 assists in 10 games against Greenville this season. This one's still very much young. Isaac Walter picks up the secondary assist, his first point back since being loaned to Milwaukee. This is 3rd game back on the lineup. Greenville trying to get that one back. They'll slide it into the near corner, but the Gladiators yank it free from there. Here's Francis, fresh off a 3-assist performance yesterday. Burrowing down the left wing, centering for Cipolone, but he was tied up out in front by Lord Anthony Grissom. Sheriff takes it up ice, gliding down the right wing, looks to center, hits the skate of Nychuk and bounces to the near half wall. From there, Greenville hangs on to it and told it to the line for Murray. Rips it from corner to trapezoid onto the tape of Brackett. He'll center for a shot by Sheriff. That's punched away by Hyder. Murray at the right point, takes it in, goes cross ice for Berg. He'll delay to Sheriff, who pops it down to the trapezoid and hopes up Poisson. Instead got Nychuk. Nychuk will take it to the corner. Greenville rips it away from there. Matier's D partner can't hang on behind Hyder. Greenville pressing here. Best zone time of the game so far. Long shot, second opportunity. No problem for Hyder. Gladiators toss it out to center as Burns takes it in on the run. Conroy takes down the Swamp Rabbit. Parker Jones with the shot, has it blocked away. Another long try, and Hyder snags that as well. Stopping time, 3 minutes and 3 seconds into the first. Gladiators win the defensive zone face-off. Here's Conroy pitching to the left side for McNamee. Through the neutral zone he goes. He'll wind it down deep. Atkinson first man on it. Former Gladiator shuffles it up the wall out to center. The Gladiators get possession back. McNamee over to Carabia. He'll softly tap it into Greenville ice. Swamp Rabbit's trying to find a way out, but McNamee strong on the forecheck, making things difficult. Scardina inside, takes a shot. Blocker saves Seville. McNamee from the right wing, dancing to the goal line, centers, backhand try from Nolan, didn't get enough on it, ends up going wide. Cross-ice feed, on time for Conroy, exchanges with McNamee for a snapshot from the right circle, and Seville's got that too. Stops time with 16:08 left in the first. The Gladiators have had some great zone time and great shifts so far to start this game. Really showing up on time. 1 o'clock start, not phasing them at all. Greenville wins the defensive zone face-off to the left of Seville. Interestingly enough, the Greenville Swamp Rabbits do have 3 goaltenders on their roster. Seville, Scholl, who we saw last night, and Pierce Charleston, who we've seen a few times this season, but opted to go back to Seville here today in the third game of the 3-3. Gladiators on the attack, bouncing puck. Jarvis can't hang on. Greenville swipes it through center. It's a foot race. Orzek's going to beat out O'Hara and punch it back out to the neutral zone. Swamp Rabbits wire it back in. Hyder slows it down as Sylvester pulls it into the neutral zone. Whack it into the far corner. Pinballs back out to center. Greenville on the move now as Poisson darts in on the right side. Has it ripped away by Nycha. Great defensive stand. Finds Walter up ice. Looking right wing for a Young. He'll snap a shot wide of the glove of Seville. Nycha keeps it into the line. Atier pushes right wing. Young touch pass. Takes the return for a bomb. And Seville's got that as well. Gladiators buzzing here to start Monday afternoon. Zach Fennell set the memo, set the tone very nicely. This Gladiators team has come out with a purpose. Face off to the left of Seville. Cipollone in that third line out there. Cipollone a goal and assist. Denemy a goal. And Francis 3 assists all in the second period of yesterday's game. Greenville does win the face-off, though. They get out to center and a little bit more. Sheriff from the right wing half wall. Steers it down low to Poisson. Backhands it back up top for a shot that goes wide of Hyder. Rebound comes to Murray, creeping down in. Lifts it deeper, but Nychuk has some space. Floats it out to center. Francis on the run. Couldn't haul it in. Would have had a chance for a breakaway to split the D, but bouncing puck had other ideas. Gladiators come right back in. Cipollone driving on the left wing is stuffed at the blue line. Bounces back to Conroy, and he'll rethink things. Atlanta tries to scurry in deep. Sheriff cuts off Cipollone. He'll pump it up the near side wall where it's turned over to Conroy. Good pinch by the D-man. Slings it to the right corner. Cipollone is there. Gets checked off the puck by Sheriff. And the Swamp Rabbits will rainbow it through the neutral zone right onto the Gladiator blue line where it bounces to Carabia. Denemy glances it off his stick and in deep, heads off for a line change. Puck will roll in on Seville, and seeing Riley Appelt charging towards him makes the wise decision to freeze with 13:56 left in the first. Gladiators have a 1-0 lead thanks to an early goal from Alex Young coming 1:23 into the contest. 13:56 remains in the first. We are back to Gas South Arena after this from our local partners.
Kind of feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 piggy bag. So how could you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
More than just cookies.
Desserts now in rotation.
Tell them exactly what I told you. It's coming in on one channel. It's been like that all season long. Just take the one channel. Back to action here in Duluth. Face off to the left of Seville. Fourth line out there, Burns, Yoder, and Appelt. Swamp Rabbits win the face-off. Turn it over to Burns, who is trying to get back onside. And so, the stoppage here. 6 minutes and 13 seconds in. So Gladiators strike first here today. Very impactful because the Gladiators, when scoring first this season, are 18-2, and they're currently on a 12-game win streak when they score first. Safe to say that the first goal matters. What they say, you can't judge a book by its cover, but first impressions are everything, and the Gladiators certainly do a good job of that. They put some pressure on Lovell, able to escape his own end, finds Brackett on the right wing. They'll scoot it down low, and they'll push it back up top, but Lovell couldn't get back there, and so has to race all the way down. And it's going to go down as an icing here, and the Gladiators are very adamant that that whistle should not have been blown, and I do believe they're correct. It was a Greenville player that popped it up that wall on the miscue from Lovell, and so this face-off should end up coming to the neutral zone, and it will. They'll put it right at center circle. And Ackerman will drop the puck. So Greenville with it. Off the face-off victory, turns it over to Nychuk on the near side. Parker Jones gets back with the steal, and Greenville trying to find some way, somehow, to get into the zone. They put a long one on Hyder. He'll fight it off. Rebound juggled, but taken in by Nolan. Running down the right wing, Nolan moves to the forehand. He'll go around the net, look for options. Plays it inside. Matera shot high and wide. Rebound simmers down on the right wing. Nolan's got it again. Swipes it to Scardina behind the cage. He'll climb up the near wall, turn and shoot into the body of Seville, who freezes with 12:45 on the game clock. And so for those of you who may have been confused as to why there was no goal horn, as to when the Gladiators scored off of Alex Young's 10th goal of the season, that's because it is the sensory-friendly game here at Gas South Arena. The lights will stay on all game long. No flashing lights, no loud noises, so the goal horn off today, despite the Gladiators score. Nychuk from the goal line, looks to center, hits the skate of Mastronato, but he's got it back. Behind the cage, Mastronato strips it free again and turns it over to Sylvester. What a keep with the glove. Finds Young left wing. Quickly to Nychuk. From the point, drops it down low. Walter tries to cut towards the net. Ends up getting wiped off of his stick by Poisson, and Greenville takes it up ice and pitches it down. Hyder slows it behind the cage to Mateer. Quickly connects with Young, who ends up turning it over at the line. Atkinson drifting down the left wing, peels back and centers. Nobody home. Cody Sylvester with the takeaway. Moves up ice with Walter. The trailer is Young. He's got it, but only for a moment. Ryan O'Hara made the defensive stand on the back check. Atlanta forced back out to center. 11:45 left in the first period. Dante Sheriff wires one off the end wall. The enemy has the loose puck below the far circle. Turnover in the high slot. Shot by Sheriff. Sticked away by Hyder, and Hyder gets crashed into by Hausinger. Greenville hangs on to the puck, and looks like there's no call for goalie interference as a shot goes wide of Hyder. Thankfully back up on his feet. Seems to be all right. Conroy gets upended below the goal line. Carabia tries to simmer down the hot puck. Conroy back on his feet in a scuffle with Sheriff. Things getting chippy here as Cipollone misses a check on Atkinson. The Quinnipiac product able to shuffle it to Conroy, and Cipollone going at it with Brackett. This game getting nasty here in the third game of a 3-3. Cipollone up ice now. Toe drag shot. Save made Seville. Rebound goes to the far wall. Cipollone throws a reverse check on Lovell, and he continues to put together a nasty shift. Joey Cipollone, not really known for being a pest, but seemed to have got him angry there. Appelt takes it in, rumbling down the left wing. Loses the puck to Atkinson. Greenville captain locates Polino on the fly. Pass for Brackett, hits his skate, and he's forced to just twist it in from the red line and get off for a line change. Appelt will steer it in to the near corner. Beaudry gets there first in the trapezoid. Tries to get it out, turns it over to Burns. Appelt the shot, eaten up by Seville with 10:08 to go in the first. Shot count reads 9-5 in favor of the Gladiators at this point, and Keep an eye on that shot count as well as the night goes on, because the Gladiators yesterday took a season-high 41 shots in the 3-1 win, and it seemed like over the last few weeks the Gladiators have been taking less and less shots as the season had worn on, but really exploded last night with 41 shots. We'll see if that becomes a new trend here today. Parker Jones gets stuffed on the zone entry. Puck leaks to Mateer. He'll drift it to the near corner for Nychuk, who is a Swamp Rabbit draped all over him in Poisson. Able to escape the heat. They pummel it out the center. Greenville hanging back on. Tries to find a way in, but end up turning it over to Mateer at the Gladiator line. He'll stretch it up to McNamee from the right wing. Pitch turns to his forehand, drives it deeper. Wanted Scardina, but didn't look over his shoulder to see that puck coming, and so Greenville able to float it back out to center. Scardina quick touches it back in. Tried to shimmy it down the wall, but the Swamp Rabbit sniffed that out. Loose puck at center. Scardina pins it up against the wall in front of the scorer's table. Puck leaks over to Carabia. He'll creep on in. Carabia fires off a stick and onto the tape of Berg in the slot. He'll run it out on the right side. Tries to pitch it in. Hits the body of Conroy. Quick exchange with Sylvester. They go cross ice to Young. Flying on in. Alex Young fires for a save by Seville. The rebound hung onto as well by the Greenville netminder. Gladiators have put a couple of good ones on Seville here today. The former 5th-round draft pick of the Vegas Golden Knights fighting for his life here in the first period. Gladiators lead 1-0, and they lead the shot count 11-5. 8:50 to go in the first. We are back after this.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you. Satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
Lone goal of the game belongs to Alex Young. His 10th of the season from Sylvester and Walter. Long try by Conroy, steered away by Seville. Puck will go to the far corner. Walter gets it back, sets up. Young! Fought out by Seville. Walter on the doorstep. Couldn't hack it in. Puck gets sent to the corner. Walter from there exchanges with Sylvester. Has Young behind the net on his backhand. Shifts to the forehand. Centers for Conroy. And he couldn't find a way to get it in. And on the second opportunity, just floats it over the goal. Oh, what a great shift there for that first line. But puck luck not on their side. Carabia gets to his own blue line and not much more. Scrubbed off the puck by Mastrodonato and company. As Greenville looks to find a way to tie this one up. Mastrodonato over the red line. Cuts to the inside. Feeds it left wing for Atkinson. Fires a shot pass into the slot. Nobody there to tip it. Gladiators on the exit. Forced to stay in. Patrick Polino from the far wall. Puts it up top to Sheriff. Distributes right wing for Lovell. Dances his way to the goal line. From the corner. Gets checked by Jarvis. Mastrodonato keeps possession. Looks to center. Great stick by Conroy. Lances off the wood of his stick and goes out to the neutral zone. Where Orzek, fresh off the bench, fights for it at center circle. Finds Francis left wing. He'll pull up at the point. Checked hard by Atkinson. Puck leaks free. Sheriff locates Polino on the left wing. He'll drop it inside for Hausinger. His shot goes wide. One-on-one with Hyder. Greenville at the line. Turning it over to Francis' Sheriff. Beaudry keeps it for Greenville. Hausinger again with the backhand. Doesn't shoot. Pestered by Denemy. From the far wall, Cipollone finishes a check on Sheriff and sends him to the ground. Sheriff takes a seat courtesy of Cipolo, and Hausinger pushes it to the goal. Hyder fights it off. Rebound available. Warzik is able to strip it clean. And Atlanta with possession will look up ice. Jarvis to Mac to Denemy. 6:36 to go in the first period. They'll dump it down and finish off the line change. Remy Parker from the right wing takes a shot that's blocked. Mateer able to get a body in front of it. Nychuk takes it on stride. Nychuk from the left wing tied up with Murray. Puck is pinned up against the boards at the left point. Hacking and whacking away. It jumbles free. Here is Parker one-on-one with Mateer. The former draft pick of the Nashville Predators able to take it to the end wall and make the defensive play. He is joined by Appel and Jack Brackett for Greenville. Brackett trying to find a way to strip it free, but Mateer and Appel are stronger. Mateer gets upended by Parker, and that draws our first penalty of the day. Remy Parker's going to take a seat, and the Gladiators are going to head to the Eco Electric power play when we come back to Duluth. Gladiators 1 with a chance to add to their lead, to the Swamp Rabbits nothing with 5:49 left in the first.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cool. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you could win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Gladiators headed to the power play. Remy Parker in the box. 2-4 tripping, and Atlanta with a power play goal yesterday. We'll have to make it back-to-back games with a power play goal, and Parker taken out of the penalty box is going to be sent to the Greenville locker room. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Still waiting for the official verdict to roll in, but looks like Brent Peterson is going to serve his sentence for Parker. So the former Cincinnati Cyclone, who was acquired in a trade from Cincinnati right before Christmas, did score a goal in Saturday's game. Feels like a Sunday today. It's not. It's a Monday. In Saturday's game, he did score in the 2-1 win for Greenville. Parker did on a tip-in, and he has gone to the locker room. So the question is whether or not it is a game misconduct or 10-minute misconduct. Let's see. Either way, the Gladiators to the Eco Electric power play, but the question is for how long? Still have yet to put time up on the clock here on the sentence to Parker. This game has been nasty the last few shifts, and it is a match penalty to Parker. So he must have said something slew-footing. So it was a slew foot on Mateer that sent Parker to the locker room, out of the game, match penalty. And the Gladiators have a 5-minute power play here to end the first period. They can score as many times as they want. Walter to McNamee. Back up top. Nychuk has it. Cross ice. Sylvester holds. Fires for a glove save by Seville. So interesting. Parker commits one of the cardinal sins of hockey. A slew foot on Mateer. And he is gone. And that is impactful for many reasons. Not just the power play for the Gladiators on the match penalty, but Greenville already skating down a forward here today due to the illness from Wade Murphy. So now they're just down to 10 forwards in this game. Nychuk drifting right, has Young at the point. Down low, Walter centers, hits the stick of Seville, and plops down on the far wall. Nychuk to Young. Left circle shot hits the leg of Murray and goes wide. Rebound to McNamee. He'll shuffle it to the right point for Sylvester. Captain has some room. Pops it down low to McNamee. Behind the cage. Shifts to the near side. Backhands it to the circle. Nobody there. Only had Polino. And he will clear for Greenville. So 5 minutes left in the first period. The Gladiators will spend the majority of it on the Eco-Electric power play. Alex Young drifting through center. Distributes it to his right. Takes the return feed from the corner. And then accidentally lifts it out of play. Hits something on the way, so we stop at 3:59 left on the match penalty to Parker. And 4:47 left in the first. So for those of you wondering what a slew foot is, it's kind of hard to describe, but it's almost as if you kick out someone's leg with your own foot. It ends up sprawling to the back. Very dangerous play, can result in an injury, so thankfully Mateer's okay, but it's a play that definitely does not belong in the game. And so Mateer, on the power play, finds Orzek. Right wing feed. Francis fires, hits the stick of Atkinson and goes wide. A clank off the end glass. Gladiators get it back. Orzek from the left point, moving right, feeds it left. Mateer has it on time. Looking downhill, has Nolan below the circle. He'll take a shot, fought off by Seville. The rebound back to Nolan. And we've got a penalty on the Gladiators now, as down for Greenville is Lovell. Appears to have been high-sticked. And we'll see some 4-on-4 action here. So Nolan will take a seat, and the question is for how long? 3:22 left on the board to Parker, and high sticking is the call, and it is 4 minutes on Nolan. So away goes the power play for the Gladiators. 4-on-4 for the next 3:22, unless Greenville scores, and then things would get interesting, but we won't think about that. We'll think about it for what it is at face value. 4-on-4 for the time being. 4:11 left in the first. Face off to the left of Hyder, who hasn't seen a whole lot of action as of late. Just 6 shots on goal for Greenville. To the Gladiators 14. Nychuk with it. Open ice to work with. Slots it down the middle for Cipolo, and they'll drift to the left wing and connect with Francis. Rumbling down that wall, Francis to the inside, takes a shot just wide right of Seville. Now it's Greenville's turn. Off the wall, Mastrodonato from the right circle, shoots. Hyder got a piece of it, keeps it out. This game is about to blow wide open. Here's Francis again. Moving to his forehand. Takes it into the near half wall. Tries to get it to Nychuk, but Mastrodonato sniffs that play out. And Greenville, with possession, will cautiously plot their next move. And going to see something similar to what you would see in 3-on-3 overtime. 4-on-4 action for an extended period of time. It's going to become a possession-based game here. And certainly with a lot of speed. We saw that in the last minute. Here is Brackett, stuffed at the blue line by Burns. They shuffle in on the right side. O'Hara centers to Brackett. His shot high and wide. Rebound comes to Atkinson on the left wing. He'll drive it deeper, but Conroy has it. He'll scurry to the right wing. Scampering out the center. Conroy wrapped up by Hausinger. Puck taken away by Atkinson. Atkinson feeds it right wing for Polino. The former Cyclone turns it over to Denemy. Springs Walter on the move. Has Orzek left wing. Orzek, backhand feed to the inside, doesn't go. Second attempt goes across, delays to Jarvis, just puts it wide. 2:22 to go in the first. 1:30 left on the 4-on-4. Lovell slingshots up ice. They'll leave it for Murray. Over center circle. Pushes it left wing. Waiting there is Polino. Drives to the goal line. Tries to play it to the corner. Stripped away by Walter. And Atlanta goes up ice, developing 3-on-2. Walter to Young. Across. Wanted Jarvis. Hit a stick on the way, and he's forced to just whack it down to the trapezoid. 1 minute left on the 4-on-4. Here is Hausinger. Deep at his own end of the ice. Meanders his way out to neutral ice. Collides with Young at center circle as he finds O'Reilly on the move. Murray a shot, hits the stick and goes wide. Puck bumbles over to Hausinger on the far wall. A 7-game point streak snapped yesterday after being held scoreless. McNamee now over the red line, wires it into the far corner, angles off the wall to Seville. He'll freeze with 32 seconds left on the 4-on-4 and 1:20 to go in the first period. Coming up next at the end of the first period, we will head on to the first intermission report. We'll be joined by Shelby Rabideau. We'll break down the first period, look ahead to the second, and see what everybody's up to on a Monday afternoon here in about mid-January. We're probably closer to the end of January than the middle. This being January 19th. Puck loose at center. Scardina's got it. Scrambling down the right wing. Has some room. Pass across. Blocked by Atkinson. Laid the body out to make that block. Gladiators keep it alive. Nychuk from the left wing steers it down low to McNamee. Centering for Scardina. Bounces off his stick. Greenville takes it on the run. Peterson out of the box. It's a power play for Greenville. Left side shot. Hyder got it. Makes the save with the glove on the pad. Gladiators sweep it through center for a clear. 30 seconds to go on the sentence to Nolan. And 35 left in the period. Polino scrambles over the Gladiator line. Pulls back. Centers for Hausinger. Backhand chance. He will score. Cam Hausinger ties the game up at 1 with a power play goal with 22.4 to go in the opening period. So he was held scoreless, ending his point streak yesterday, and he gets back on the stat sheet with a power play goal. That is 3 straight games with a power play goal for Greenville. And they have tied this one up at 1. And so Greenville, who certainly had his struggles on the power play this season, somehow finds a way to make it 3 games in a row with a goal on the man advantage. That one critical, ties the game up at 1 in the late stages of the first. Gladiators trying to make something happen before the end of it. 8 seconds to go. Denemy centering for Cipollone. Doesn't work out, and so it'll end up being a tie game at the end of 1. 1-1 from Duluth after 1. Well, we got a lot to talk about coming up next on the first intermission report, and maybe a little bit more than we initially thought. Gladiators had a 1-0 lead early, thanks to Alex Young's 10th of the season from Sylvester and Walter. That goal coming 1:23 into the first, and then a late one from the Swamp Rabbits on the power play. Cam Hausinger is able to pick up his 11th goal of the year. Just 22 seconds left from Polino and Berg to make it a 1-1 tie after 1. Gladiators this season, when scoring first, are 18-2, but when tied after 1, 10-3. Story changes a little bit. Greenville, when trailing first, 5-8-3. And when tied after 1, are 5-10-3. A lot of time left in this one. We'll break it all down. Coming up on the other side of the break, it is the Gladiators 1 and the Swamp Rabbits 1 from Gas South Arena. We are back in 1 minute on the Gladiators Broadcast Network.
More than just cookies.
Desserts now in rotation.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you. Satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Gas South Arena. Shelby Rabdo here with Guy Chiarenza. We're going to be breaking down everything that happened in that first period, but first, let's check in with our scores. We are tied 1-1 with Atlanta having 16 shots on goal and the Greenville Swamp Rabbits having 9 shots on goal. Quite an exciting period, a little bit feisty, but a fun game to watch. So what are you thinking so far, Guy?
This game has had a little bit of everything, as the Gladiators struck first early with the goal from Alex Young. Looked like Sylvester may have fumbled it between the slot, but it ends up working out. Young puts it in back door for his 10th of the year. Gladiators scoring 123 in, and then you get a late one after a couple of bits of nastiness there in the first period. Tempers flaring, back and forth action. Gladiators had a power play for a moment. It looked like they were going to have it for a long time, but then Dolan gets called for high sticking, double minor, drew some blood. Play 4-on-4 for a little bit. Then the Gladiators end up going to the penalty kill, and Greenville scores on the power play late in the period. It's made it a 1-1 game, and yeah, this game has had a little bit of everything, and it's been fun, but Atlanta trying to pull away with another big second period.
Now, I want to hear about that first goal from Alex Young. This makes him the leader in points for the Gladiators, with this being his 26th point of the season. He was tied there with, I believe it was Isaac Walter, and then also tied with O'Brien for 25, but now this makes him the leader with 26.
Yeah, Alex Young has had a great season so far for the Gladiators. Was acquired at the trade deadline, along with Ryan Francis at the end of last year. Got some time with the Gladiators under his belt, but really talking to him through training camp of the offseason, he really felt like spending training camp with this team this year and getting a full start with the Gladiators would do him a lot of good, and it really has. It's worked a lot of wonders for Alex Young. I always thought that he could be a big breakout guy for the Gladiators this season, and he's been that and very much more. Young has had a great season with the Gladiators so far, and with that goal, has taken the team lead in points with 26. But it should come to no surprise that Isaac Walter and Cody Sylvester both factor in on that goal, as both of those two have had great seasons as well.
And Alex Young has taken that spot as O'Brien's in the All-Star game tonight. A bit of a shift for the lines here. We have Ethan Scardina on second line, and then we have Appelt on the fourth line with Yoder playing. And I want to ask you, what are you seeing from this change-up in the game today from previous games?
I think the biggest note from the Gladiators here today in terms of the lineup was we've known for some time that Matt Ginn, the head coach for the Gladiators, Jack O'Brien, and TJ Semptenfelter would all be in Allen here today. And so for the Gladiators, you kind of game plan for that a little bit. I mean, obviously, due to injuries from game to game and, the availability from guy to guy from game to game, you're not exactly sure what you're going to get on game day, but we've known for some time that at least those three would be unavailable here today. And so for Zach Fennell, who has taken the reins here today, the assistant coach for the Gladiators, due to the absence from Matt Ginn, they put together this lineup, and I think the biggest thing that stands out to me is they did not touch that third line.
Right.
How could you with the way that they played last night? Francis with 3 assists, Cipollo 2 points, a goal and an assist, and Denomy's got one as well in yesterday's game. What was a big second period for the Gladiators? Hard to break up that trio, and so Alex Young gets the good promotion to get up to the first line again. He's had a great season for the Gladiators this year. We've seen him at times play in that first line center role for Atlanta this year, so he gets the call up, if you will, to play with Sylvester and Walter, and so far so good for him here today with the goals. So those three combined on the score for Atlanta, and then you got Scardina with McNamee and Nolan, and Scardina 6 points on the season so far. Doesn't really pop out at you in terms of the stat sheet, but this is a guy that really, it's not about the numbers with him. It's about the intangibles. It's about the things that he does with the puck and without the puck. I think he's been an excellent forechecker for the Gladiators this season. Remember, he's a first-year pro coming out of Bowling Green State. It's his rookie campaign, and it seems like game by game, he just gets better and better. It seems like as the season's gone on, they task him with a little bit more to see how much more he can handle, and he's taken it in stride. I think he's been a great forechecker. Kind of plays like Louis Boudon in that regard. I think he picked up a thing or two from him in the early going of the season, but I think he's been a great two-way forward for the Gladiators this season, and it's good to see him on that line with McNamee and Nolan. Obviously, we know what Ryan Nolan can do here this season. He's had a great start as well. And then McNamee, kind of the brains of that operation as well, a veteran guy who has been around the block a time or two in the pro game. You put those three together, I think that's a good match here today for the Gladiators with the absence of Jack O'Brien.
I agree. It's been fun watching this game. Again, like I said earlier, it's been a bit feisty, and I want to go to the keys of the game from assistant coach Zach Manel. So, communication habits and mentality. Have you been seeing this here today in this first period?
I think the biggest thing that jumped out to me in terms of the mentality from the Gladiators was the puck was dropped and they smelt blood in the water. And this was a team that right off the opening faceoff was in attack mode. They really had Greenville on their heels for much of this first period. And, you know, aside from that late power play goal from Hausinger, the Gladiators really should have the lead coming out of this period. Thought they played very well, and I think the shot count kind of reflects that. 16-9 in favor of the Gladiators, but Greenville really didn't start getting some more shots on the board until late in the period when it was 4-on-4 action. Then later on in the power play, there was a good chunk of time where Ethan Hyder didn't have a whole lot to do because the Gladiators spent so much time in the Greenville zone. And so that attack mentality, that ready-to-play mentality that Zach Vanel instilled in this lineup here today has shown so far. As think back to the last time Greenville won in this building against the Gladiators was the school game,
right.
10:30 start. Gladiators had a sleepy start that day. Didn't play their best hockey. Certainly showed up late for that game. Here with another early start time at 1 o'clock, Atlanta makes no mistake. They set their alarms and they come to play.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect when it came to the game today. Early, like you said, not a super early start, but you had that 3-game series, back-to-back games, one in Greenville and then the other here last night. So I wasn't sure how the Glads were going to start off here in the first period, but it was a fast-paced game and it really set the pace. So I'm hoping to see more of that in the second period, which we're going to talk about more when we come back from the break. But I want to ask you a question. I also want to ask the chat a question. So my question today has to do with the fact that the Gladiators are going to go on a very long road trip, 7 games. So question is, if you're a passenger, you're going on that 7-day road trip, what do you do to pass the time? Like, what's your go-to?
On the bus or just in general when you have an off day? There's not very many of them for the Gladiators. I think it's going to end up being 7 games in 11 days. So
okay.
Might have a few off days here and there, but it's going to be a lot of hockey in a short span of time.
I'm saying, like, you're in the bus. Like,
okay.
What are you doing on a road trip, a very long road trip? So put your answers in the chat, and we'll discuss that and what we want to see in the second period. Again, it is tied here 1-1 at Gas South Arena. We will speak to you after the break.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous. Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon. 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
More than just cookies.
Desserts now in rotation.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena. Shelby Rabdo here with Guy Chiarenza, and we're going to be talking about what we want to see in the second period. But first, we are tied here at Gas South 1-1 with Atlanta having 16 shots on goal, Greenville Swamp Rabbits with 9. Before we get into the nitty-gritty here, I want to ask everyone a question, and that is, if you are on a road trip, what are you doing to pass the time? And I'm talking long road trip. So we will get to that after we talk about what we want to see in the second period.
Well, if the second period here today is anything like what we saw in the second period of yesterday's game, we're in good shape. Gladiators scored 3 times in the second period of yesterday's game. That ended up being the difference, as all goals in the Sunday game were scored in the second period. And it's turning out to be that the Gladiators get better and better as the game goes on. This has become a recurring theme as the season has gone on, but it used to be Gladiators very good defensively in the first period, got better in the second period in terms of scoring, then the third period was their best scoring period. But now it seems to be that the second period is equally as good as the third period when it comes to scoring for the Gladiators. As yesterday certainly helped in that regard. Gladiators now have outscored their opponents in the second period 32-26 and 33-21 in the third. So again, that kind of coins the phrase true that the Atlanta Gladiators really do have a second period surge. they learn from what they see in the first period, they adapt in the intermission, and they execute in the second period onward. And most of the time when they do so, they win. I remember before we went to the intermission break, brought up the fact that the Gladiators, when tied after one, are 10-3. The Swamp Rabbits, in the same situation, are 5-10-3. So there is a difference between whatever the Gladiators do when tied after one and what the Swamp Rabbits do, and it shows. Gladiators have been winning this season.
Well, I'm hoping everyone cross your fingers. And if they win today, there's some good news for Ethan Hyder.
Ethan Hyder, in his sophomore season with the Gladiators, has a chance to pick up win number 30 in the Gladiators uniform. And right now he is tied with Craig Kowalski for 29th. For 29 wins and 5th place in the Gladiators all-time wins list. If Hyder wins today, gets win number 30, and he has sole possession of 5th place. And I believe head coach Matt Ginn, a little bit further up the list. Okay. Ethan Hyder could definitely catch him as well here this season, as Matt Ginn, 38 wins in a Gladiator uniform. So there's a chance that Hyder, who has already had a great season so far, can continue to climb up that list. Not just today, but later on down the season as well.
Yeah, again, like you said, if he doesn't get that chance here today, there's plenty of more games to be played the rest of this season.
Yeah, and the good news is that you and I did some stat hunting earlier in the morning. Ethan Hyder has been great against Greenville in his career, and certainly was great earlier this season. 5-1, Hyder is against the Swamp Rabbits this year with a 1.98 goals against average and a 941 save percentage. So Hyder has had the Swamp Rabbits number so far this season. This being the 10th meeting of the year between these two clubs. Hyder has seen them for the 7th time here today. And over the course of his career, 9-4-0-1 against Greenville as the starters. So stars are aligning here today at Gas South Arena, and the rest of them are in Allen here today for the All-Star Classic. So we wish the best to head coach Matt Ginn, goalie TJ Semptenfelter, and forward Jack O'Brien. You can catch them at the All-Star game at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on NHL Network. Good friend of the program, Tommy Daniels and Jason Malls, have the call alongside David Fine of Iowa. Catch it all on NHL Network, and root on our guys. Atlanta, 3 All-Star representatives, and you can't forget about the big man, Jeff Campbell, going into the Hall of Fame here today. Big day for the Atlanta Gladiators.
Yes, I got guided to it. He's learning. Also, let's say you're going to Allen, Texas. What are you doing on that road trip?
I would hope that it would not be a road trip. I would hope that we would just fly, which thankfully is what the 3 guys that are actually going to Allen did, because that would be a long, long bus ride.
Hey, I drive 12 hours to Michigan.
It'd be about like 17 hours to get over to Allen, so that's a long one. But if I had to do it, I would say I would listen to some music for the most part.
Okay. Do you have a playlist?
Maybe a movie. Yeah, I got a big playlist. A lot of classic rock in there.
Did you add country as of yesterday?
I did not add any country. No, I didn't. Maybe one song, maybe 7 Summers for Alex Bennett, but that's about it.
Okay.
Not a whole lot of country from me, and then a lot of sleeping probably. Maybe a movie here and there.
Yeah.
That's about it for me.
So I'm from Michigan, and I do a 12-hour drive here, usually for the holidays, and how I pass the time is I always listen to an audiobook. I feel like the drive just seems so much shorter when you're listening to that. Usually it's like a mystery thriller, because it keeps you on the edge of your toes. But you gotta start out with music so you don't fall asleep, because the best way to do a road trip is start early.
Yes.
So music first, audiobook second, and then in the blink of an eye, you're there. But let's see what the chat has to say.
Well, it looks like we got a lot of people in the chat here today, as a lot of people are working today, it seems. They unfortunately did not get the holiday off, but looks like Joe Mama is pursuing the World Wide Web. Probably some Instagram Reels in there, some TikToks, I would assume.
I get lost in TikTok. It's not great.
Daffy Doo is a passenger princess. Lynette, read or music? Daffy Doo reading, listening to podcasts, or just blasting music? So there you go.
Drop your playlists, your recommendations.
Good playlist is always welcome.
Yeah, exactly. You know, mine's just on, I usually do shuffle, but I can't do the slow songs, because then I'm drowsing, like I'm dozing off again. But it looks like the Gladiators are heading back to the ice, so when we come back, it will be that second period. Right now we're tied 1-1, and Guy will be here with the play-by-play when we come back.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous. Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
Gladiators had a big second period yesterday against these Swamp Rabbits en route to a 3-1 victory. Hoping for another one just like it here today as we were all tied up at 1 after 1 here in Duluth. We were tied after 1 in Saturday and Sunday's games, both scoreless. Story a bit the same here. 1-1 the score after 1. Gladiators with a goal from Alex Young, his 10th of the year. Greenville's goal coming from Cam Hausinger, his 11th and team leading on the season. So out of all of that, at the end of the first period, the major to Parker, who has since left the game. Greenville down to 10 forwards here today. Wade Murphy not dressing due to an illness. We are back to even strength, and the score is even. Puck down, we are back. Greenville swipes it back into the near corner. Around it goes. Peterson up the wall. Finds a man at the line in Berg. He'll hold. Sauce it down deeper. Nightshock waiting. Able to get to the slot. Swept away by Mateer. And they spring Nolan on the run. 2-on-1 up ice. Nolan dangling in tight. Backhand try. Stays out. Seville makes the stop. Nolan has it on the rebound. He'll sauce it down low to McNamee. Centering feed. Intercepted by Peterson. And Greenville breaks out to center. Solon floats it over the head of Hyder. Puck will plop down in the far corner. Conroy slaps it to McNamee and will rip a bullet into the Greenville bench. And stop time. 49 seconds into period 2. So we talked about it during the intermission. The Gladiators' second periods are shaping up to be some of their best this season. 32 goals for the middle frame, 33 in the third period. Third period still is the Gladiators' best period when it comes to goal differential, but that second period getting better and better as the season rolls on. Here is Denemy, rumbling through the neutral zone, slips it off the near side wall and into the near corner. Cipollo looks to center, at the line. Conroy finds Carabia, right point shot steered away by Seville. Rebound comes to O'Hara, spinning like a turnstile, turns it over to Denemy. He'll pop it down deeper, climbing up the wall is Francis. Third line out there for Atlanta. He'll rip a shot wide. Denemy with the rebound. From the left wing, scoots it down to Cipollo. Pinned up by Atkinson in the far corner. Denemy converges in that area as well, but not enough. Greenville able to poke it free. Gladiators come right back in. Denemy chases it into the near corner. Atkinson there first, has some time to delay. Loader pinching from the left wing, keeps it in the Greenville zone. On the attack, the big defenseman, native of Woodstock, Georgia, tries to hunt it down, keeps them in on the right side now, but Greenville able to muscle out to center and a little bit more. O'Reilly from the left circle, cuts in tight. Hyder takes away the angle, makes the save, and the puck is still loose. It'll be skated out by Orzek. Greenville puts it back in the slot for a backhand try from O'Reilly. And Hyder has snagged it. 2:06 into the second period. Ethan Hyder, with his best work so far, keeps it a tie game. So first we had O'Reilly closing in tight. Hyder right in position to make the save. And then the next sequence, find a man right between the circles, and Hyder's able to stop that as well. Defensive zone face-off won by Atlanta. Here is Nychuk. Gaining some steam from the right wing. Tries to angle it off the boards to Young. Ends up spinning back to Matier. The big defenseman reconnects with Nychuk. And he will spring Walter through the neutral zone. Rush at left wing for Young. Feathers it to the inside where it goes right to Seville. He will freeze. And another whistle here with 17:32 on the game clock. And looks like Greenville's going to get a line change in here for the Gladiators. The first line out, Sylvester, Young, Walter. Already combining on the Gladiators' first goal here today. Defensemen remain Nychuk and Matier. Young will be tasked with this face-off. Sylvester lined up right behind him. Walter to his right. Up against Ben Poisson. Young wins it. Walter tries to twist towards the net. Greenville rips it free. The rumble out to the neutral zone. Brackett checked off of it by Matier on the near side. Sylvester goes around his own net. Swipes it up the boards to Young. Slaps to center. Wanted Walter, but it's intercepted by Murray. He'll wham it into the near corner. Matier collects it. Skates around Parker Jones. And connects with Sylvester on the far wall. Puck loose at center. Berg from the red line. Trying to rip it in, but Walter somehow comes away with it. Bouncing to the left wing from the blue line. Twiddles it down to Seville. Out of his cage, plays it to Berg. He'll skate with some room on the left wing. Quickly closed in on by McNamee. Forced to pop it into the far corner. Conroy is there. New alternate captain for the Gladiators. Shuffles it up to Nolan. Gladiators look to break out. Over the red line, Nolan flings it into the far corner. Lovell gets there first and is checked by Scardina. And we do have a whistle. 16:34 on the clock. It looks like the Gladiators were offside on that entry, so they'll bring this puck back out to the neutral zone. And Scardina will remain out there on that second line with McNamee and Nolan. And McNamee exchanging a few words with some Swamp Rabbits at the bench. Surely, just friendly banter. These two teams have to be sick of each other by now. 10th meeting out of 14 on the season. Next time these two teams meet in Greenville, February 11th. Save the date. You don't want to miss it. Lovell has not the face-off victory. Atkinson tries to scoot it out. It's a stick on the way and swiped away by Scardina at the line. Extra effort from Lovell. Gets them out to center. Errant pass back to Lovell. He's got it. Drifting deeper into his own territory. Slots it up to Atkinson. Over the red line. Feeds it right side. Mastrodonato had a goal yesterday and 2 assists on Friday. Puts it to the end wall. Carabia is there. Scardina working in tandem. Able to weasel out to the neutral zone. Nolan takes it in stride. Kept to the perimeter by Atkinson. Turnover at the goal line. Bouncing puck. Scardina has it. Right and tight. Conroy scores. Takes a shot and he's stopped by Seville. Oh, I thought that one was going to go, but it didn't. 2-on-1 up by Sheriff. Delays. Shot. Stop. Hyder. Orzek blocked it. And the loose puck comes to Greenville. Long shot. Hyder eats it. 15:26 to go in the second. Oh, you couldn't tee that one up any better for Ryan Conroy, and somehow Isaiah Seville is able to scramble across and make the save. I was ready to say scores there, but should have been saves. Greenville, with an exceptional save from their netminder, keeps it a 1-1 tie. Face off to the left of Hyder. Gladiators win it. Orzek through center. Moving with Francis. They're bottled up at the blue line. Gladiators just toss it into no man's land where it's snapped up by Modry. And Greenville comes back out to center. We'll pull it down to the trapezoid. Jarvis is there to meet it. Takes a check from Hausinger. Somehow stays on his feet. Meanwhile, Cipollo quickly taps it to Orzek. Has Francis on the fly. Francis from the right wing. Tries to turn it to Orzek. Pinballs off a skate to the far wall as Polino gets checked hard. Puck tumbles out to center. Polino back on his feet. He's getting nasty here, as they did towards the end of the first period. Denemy off balance finds Francis. Centering feed is the skate of Hausinger. The Swamp Rabbits got it. Puts it to the line. Nychuk with the keep in. Distributes to the far corner. Behind the cage. Lord Anthony Grissom will track it down. Grissom over the red line. Heaves it into the far corner. Hyder watches the puck go behind him. Nychuk is there. Pushes it to the corner. Tier fields it. Back on the stick of Nychuk. He'll hit Burns at center circle. Left it for a pelt. Centering feed. Hits the stick and goes wide. Yoder from the near corner. Swerves it behind Seville. Picking it up there is Berg. And Greenville able to get out to their own blue line where they're stuffed and held in by Burns. Yoder pressing, finishes a check in the near corner. Meanwhile, Poisson able to wedge it out to center, has Peterson left wing. He'll take a shot, shoulder save. Hyder snaps up the rebound with a whistle to stop play. 13:38 to go in the second period. Still tied up at 1 at Gas South Arena. We are back after this.
Kind of feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 biggie bag. So how can you spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
Back to Gas South Arena. We are all tied up at 1. 13:38 to go in the second period. Gladiators out shooting the Swamp Rabbits 19-13 to this point in the game. And the Gladiators this season haven't really become much of a high quantity shot-taking team. Just 29.94 on average. That's 25th in the ECHL, but took a season high 41 yesterday. And seem to be on track to come close to that figure here today if they keep this up. But what matters is goals, and Walter in that first line looking for another. Sylvester looking for Young between the circles, broken up by a Swamp Rabbit stick. Puck will go to the near side wall where it's fished free by Atkinson. And Greenville will look to roll out. Atkinson has a man open on the right wing. Mastrodonado centers for O'Hara. Pulls back a bit, rips a shot off a stick. To the end wall it goes. Conroy first man on it. Quick touch pass, he's got it again. As he softly finds Young on the right side. Over the red line and now Greenville blue. Young cuts inside for a shot. That gets blocked. And Greenville will get possession back. Polino turns it over at center. 12:40 left in the second period. Down the middle, McNamee feeds right. Nolan back inside, hits a skate. And it'll end up on the tape of Cam Hausinger, the Greenville goal scorer. Hausinger spent last year with the Indy Fuel, had a good year there. First year with Greenville. He is thwarted on the zone entry. Nolan with it for the Gladiators. Peels back as Orzek will feed it back to Nolan. And the Gladiators look to get something going here offensively. Scardina from the left wing moves to his forehand, chips it down lower to Nolan. Swerves it to the right wing for Orzek, has some room at the point. Fires back down deeper for McNamee. Behind the cage, pokes it to Scardina. Left wing, back deep. McNamee's got it again on his forehand, pestered by Sheriff, taken into the corner wall where Orzek creeps in. Gladiators with the back, Scardina a shot, stopped by Seville. And Greenville clears out to center where Polino takes it up ice. Left wing centering feed over the stick of Sheriff. Tries to get back on it, but forced back out to center by his own doing. Berg waxing off a stick and in deeper. Matier retrieves in the far corner. Bodies bundled together there. Denemy tries to yank it free for Atlanta. Greenville wedges it deeper. From the near corner, they slap it up top. Pass across, on time for Murray. His shot blocked by Denemy. And the Gladiators bat it out to center. Greenville forced to restart their attack. 11:05 left in the second period. Parker Berg controlling for Greenville. Puck goes off a stick and out of play with 10:55 on the game clock here as we approach the midway point of the second period. It'll be a neutral zone face-off on the near side, right at the top of the Gladiators' blue line. To this point, not a lot of scoring, and it's been a good day to be a goaltender. Ethan Hyder, 12 of 13 to this point. Isaiah Seville, 18 of 19. Atkinson from neutral ice connects with Parker Jones. He'll chip it off the wall to himself. Cut off nicely by Nychuk. But here stepping in, can't take it away. Shot hits the side of the cage. Matier returns the favor with a check on Poisson. Forces him from the puck. Denemy handling, swipes it out to center, where Tim Lovell will snag it for Greenville. Lovell pulls up in the neutral zone, leaves it for O'Reilly. Slingshots ahead from the right wing. O'Reilly fires. Hyder the save. The rebound kicked out by the right pad of Hyder. Atlanta takes it up ice. 2-on-2. Walter fires. Kick save Seville. Rebound punched away from Sylvester. Swamp Rabbits come flying back in. It's O'Reilly again. Bouncing to the right wing. Centers for Mastrodonato. And Hyder rejects it and covers with 9:57 to go in the second period. Ethan Hyder coming up big here in the second period as Greenville presses to take the lead. We are tied up at 1 with 9:57 to go in the second period from Duluth. We are back in a minute after this.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous. Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon. 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cool. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you could win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Face off to the left of Hyder. Hausinger will take this against Alex Young, the two goal scorers here today. Matchup at the dot, and Hausinger is the victor. Greenville at the line. Finds Sheriff at the point. Shot goes wide of Hyder. They continue to press. Hausinger from behind the cage. Able to evade the forecheck from Young, and at the line they dig it deeper. Polino. Back to Hausinger, centering feed. Polino fires wide of Hyder. Rebound snagged by Murray. Pummels it down to Polino in the far corner. Knocked up the wall. Murray tries to keep, but the Gladiators push it out to center. Play with a high stick by Murray. A whistle with 9:21 to go in the second. And both teams will take this opportunity to get a line change in, and so we will see Mickey Burns take the ice with Ryan Nolan and Mike McNamee. So a little bit of a shuffle here for the Gladiators. We have seen Ethan Scardina on this line here today as the centerman, but now we'll see Mickey Burns take this face-off against Ben Poisson. And Burns hits the deck, tries to kick it to Jarvis, and ends up finding Nolan, so it works out all right, but the Gladiators end up losing possession as Greenville able to strip it free. Atkinson grinds to a halt in the neutral zone as the pass intended for him was behind him. Turns it over to Jarvis on the dump in, and back it goes to Greenville. Possession trading places here in the midway point of the second period. Parker Jones backs it down the left wing. Nothing forthcoming there in the zone entry. Stretch pass. McNamee's got it. Pulls to a stop. Looks for a trailer. Greenville able to yank it away. And now Atkinson through the neutral zone. Gains Atlanta ice. Atkinson delays to Parker Jones. Right circle shot. That's blocked by Jarvis. Parker Jones with the rebound. Twiddles it up top for another shot. That's blocked by McNamee. And Atlanta is able to muscle the puck out to center. Mickey Burns hounding Atkinson. Forces a turnover. McNamee from the left wing. Finds Nolan. McNamee to the bench. Nolan drives it deeper for Orzek. Centers for Denemy. Passes poked away by Grissom. And back out to center it goes. Good play for the Gladiators there at the end of that shift. Denemy fresh on, had a chance, but Grissom makes a great defensive read. Here is Denemy again. A hot hand as of late. 4 points in his last 6. As Nychuk with a great keep in the high slot. Didn't have any reinforcements. Greenville able to push out the center. Pass to the inside for O'Reilly is intercepted. Gladiators try and hit a home run pass to Denemy. Ends up hitting a body. Cipollone has it up ice. Cipollone weaving. Has Mateer at the right point. Bobbles a bouncing puck and pushes it deeper. Francis behind the cage on his forehand. Forced to the outside. Ladles it up top. Nychuk drifting right. Stops and shoots. Hits a body on the way. Cipollone the rebound. Puts a shot on goal, but Seville makes the stop. Greenville sweeps it out to center. 7:13 to go in the second period. Still knotted up at 1. Walter and the Gladiators back on the hunt. From the right point, Walter locates Young on the wall. He'll take a shot. Saved by the stick of Seville. Rebound comes to Sylvester. Exchanges with Young in the near corner. Has a trailer. Caribia. Shot blocked in front. Pinballs to the slot. Walter to Sylvester. The captain shoots. That's blocked as well. Young on the doorstep. Denied by Seville. Every which way, but into the back of the net. Grissom dumps it down near Hyder. Contested puck at the end wall. 2-on-2 there. Gladiators creep out of the pile. Walter and the Gladiators turn up ice, developing 3-on-2. Sylvester to Walter. Centers for Young. Intercepted by Hausinger. Stretches it up ice. Almost connected with Sheriff. Glanced off his stick. Gladiators control. Young from the red line. Heaves it into the far corner. Gets off for a line change. 6 minutes left in the second period. McNamee touches the puck onto the late offside. That'll send us to a media timeout with 5:57 to go in the second. All tied up at 1 here in Duluth. We are back after this.
Why choose between getting things done and doing things with the ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, it's easy to shop the same great prices and quality you'd find in-store, so you can catch more family time. We'll bring your groceries right to you. Satisfaction guaranteed, so you can spend time on what matters most. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Need to build a professional brand? Alpha Graphics delivers with stunning signage, graphics, and marketing materials that are exactly what you need to earn clients' trust. Alpha Graphics. Bring your brand to life.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery, tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
Still tied up at 1. 5:57 left to go in the second period. Guy Chiarenza with you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. Final game of a 3-3 between these two teams, but you still need a little bit more hockey in your life. I encourage you to check out the ECHL All-Star Classic from Allen on NHL Network at 7 p.m. Gladiators are represented well. Jeff Campbell, former player, headed into the Hall of Fame here today. Matt Ginn, coach representing the Eastern Conference. TJ Septemfelter, the goalie, and Jack O'Brien, the forwards for Atlanta. All represented at the All-Star Classic here tonight. Make sure you tune in and check it out. Gladiators still on the attack. At the line, they turn it over. Passon moving to the right wing. Swerves it down to Hyder, who plays it from the trapezoid. Pass up ice. On time for McNamee. Wheels it to the right wing, but nobody there. Gladiators in the middle of completing a line change, and so Greenville has it turned over. Great steal by McNamee from the top of the right circle. Steers it down deeper to Scardina. Wraparound attempt fished away from him by Brackett. Jumbling puck. Nolan almost keeps the play alive, but pass between the legs picked up by Poisson, and he will pop it into the left of Hyder. Well, it looked like it was going to be a great play. The steal from McNamee ends up being a dud. Gladiators get a little bit of momentum off of that, but we are still tied up at 1. Greenville rims it down. Hyder slows it in the trapezoid. Back up the wall it goes. Lovell can't keep it in. Atkinson through the neutral zone. Able to connect with Mastrodonato. Slide it from wing to wing, and the Gladiators get back up out to center. Cipollone in tandem with Denemy are boxed off the puck on the zone entry. It'll be spat back to Matier. Angles it off the near side wall. Again, the Gladiators thwarted upon entry. They do the same to Greenville as O'Reilly is forced to dump it in. 4:15 to go in the second period, which to this point has been scoreless. All goals coming back in the first period. Nychuk looking to change that on his back end. Goes around the net. Centers for Francis. Racing in. Stripped away by Polino. Now Polino tried to hit a home run pass up ice. It would have been bad news if he did. Gladiators pick that puck off. Chip it back in and get a partial change in as well. Lovell, the defenseman for Greenville, starting the next breakout. Former teammate of Alex Young at Arizona State a few seasons ago. Locates Dante Sheriff on the move, pops it into the near corner. They'll rip it around to the right side, looking for Polino, boxed out nicely by Sylvester. Conroy and Carabia, the two Gladiators defensemen, jumble it through the neutral zone, and that goes down as an icing on the Gladiators with 3:25 left in the middle frame. So consider this, the shot count at the end of one period of play, 16 to 19. Beg your pardon, 16 to 19 in favor of the Gladiators after one. And then here in the second, things have really tightened up. 6 apiece to bring the total to 22 to 15 in favor of Atlanta. Walter through the neutral zone, rumbling down the left side, cuts inside, centering feet. Hits the stick of defender Murray and goes to the far wall. Sylvester carries there, drives it down to Walter, who leaves it for Young. Stretches it up top. Conroy in for a shot. Seville makes the save, comes way out to the top of the blue paint to make that one. The rebound to Berg, and Greenville start its breakout. Will hammer it off the stick of Poisson. Ends up trickling in on Hyder. Shovels it to the near corner. Gladiators possess cleanly as Carabia will lead the charge. Dylan Carabia, the Florida native, winds it around into the left wing. It'll come out the center. Jarvis with it. Second-year D-man for the Gladiators. Slings it to the right side for McNamee. Cast it to the slot. Nobody home. There is Modry. And the Swamp Rabbits break through center. Burns with the takeaway. Comes in on the left side. Centers for McNamee. It'll glance off his stick. He'll take it to the near corner. Bouncing puck along the wall. Creeps out to the neutral zone. Nolan rattles it around the boards. Seville out to play it. Waits for his team to complete a change. As Modry slots it down the left wing off the stick of O'Reilly. It goes. Gladiators look to take their chances up ice, but Greenville able to stop that for the moment. They turn it over. Cipollone in tight. Fires a shot high and wide. Mastrodonato over the red line as Atkinson streaking up ice, tries to cut to the slot. Defended nicely by Mateer. Puck comes to Ethan Hyder. He'll freeze it with 1:30 to go. Coming up next year on the Gladiators Broadcast Network, after the end of the second period, we will have the second intermission report. We'll be rejoined by Shelby Rabideau. We'll talk about the first two periods here against these two teams and look ahead to the third period and preview what is to come. All that on the other side of the break on the second intermission report. Face off to the left of Hyder. Hausinger will take this against Cipollone and win it. From the line, they feed it left. Atkinson shoots, blocked in front by Nychuk. Gladiators toss it back out to the neutral zone. Hausinger there. Has Sheriff on the right wing. He'll snap a shot off the stick of Mateer and wide. Polino with the rebound. Dancing not enough. Can't slink by Cipollone and the Gladiators. The Rainbow back out to center, and with 1 minute left in the second period, Greenville will look to break the tie. Lovell will lead this charge. Slaps it through the neutral zone off the stick of Polino. It'll go to the far corner. Nychuk there first. Evades a check from Atkinson. He came in hot. Puck over to the near corner now. Greenville with it. Sheriff from low to high. Has Berg at the point. Shot is blocked. Walter has the rebound and tried to grind up ice, but Sheriff with the takeaway. Tries to go right down Broadway. Walter's got it back. Moving with Young. He'll go up ice. Walter from the left wing. Cut off by Murray. Young juggling the puck. Keeps the play alive. Jumbles it down to the trapezoid. 13 seconds to go. Berg floats it through the neutral zone. It'll go wide of Hyder, and that's an icing with 7.8 seconds left in the middle period. And that is an interesting play there because now tired Swamp Rabbits have to stay on the ice, and this sets up a face-off which will be to the left of Seville. And so first line out there, if you think that is not enough time to score, you are mistaken. We've seen goals scored in much less. You think back to the Reed Lebster incident in Utah. So if Young wins this face-off, has plenty of time to distribute this puck around and get a good chance in before the period's end. He'll take it against Patrick Polino. Face-off on the near dot. Mateer waiting behind him. Mateer right shot defenseman. They win it. Nychuk from the right wing wall. Centers for Young. He scores! Just in the nick of time. Alex Young double dips. He's got two, and Atlanta leads 2-1. He can't draw it up any better. Greenville with an error. Ices the puck with 7 seconds to go. Gladiators score with 3.5 on the clock. Bang, bang. Atlanta has the lead. Puck drops. Timeout. Gladiators lead 2-1 after 2. Just a killer goal from Alex Young and the Atlanta Gladiators. They suck the momentum out from under the Swamp Rabbits. Takes the wind out of their sails. Atlanta with a sneaky one to end the period as a 2-1 lead. Alex Young doubles down. He's got 2 today, bringing his season total to 11. And the Gladiators lead 2-1. Atlanta has now flipped the script here in this game. Almost sent to the second intermission, tied after 2, but that is not the case. Atlanta, when leading after 2 this season, 16-0. When the Swamp Rabbits trail after 2, they are 0-10-2. But keep in mind, this Gladiators team has been in some tight ones with the Swamp Rabbits this season. 9 prior meetings, 8 of the prior 9 have been decided by 2 goals or less. We'll talk all about what to expect coming up in the third period on the second intermission report when we return to Gas South Arena. For now, it's the Gladiators 2 and the Swamp Rabbits 1. Atlanta outshooting Greenville 24-15. As they get a goal from Alex Young with 3.5 seconds left in the second period to take the lead heading into the final frame of regulation. All that coming up on the other side of the break. The Gladiators have struck again. We're back after this.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena. Shelby Rabdo here with Guy Chiarenza. We're going to be breaking down everything that happened in that second period, but first let's check in with our scores. Atlanta Gladiators 2 with 24 shots on goal and Greenville Swamp Rabbits with 15 shots on goal. Now, what an exciting way to end the period, Guy. It was a lot of back and forth action throughout the second period, but, you know, the Gladiators, they had an exciting end.
Yeah, they put the cherry on top of what was a good second period for the Gladiators. Caught in a defensive battle in the middle frame. Bit of a coaching chess match there, I would say, between Zach Vanel, who is acting as the Gladiators bench boss here today in the absence of Matt Ginn, and Chad Costello, the head coach of the Swamp Rabbits. Just a back and forth period. There was a lot of moments in that period where both teams had chances to score, but otherwise a low shot volume, but high quality chances on both sides. We saw play really break out at times and then kind of slow down to a grind there in that second period. But all in all, Greenville makes a big mistake at the end of the second period, and it leads to the Gladiators' goal. Alex Young has his second of the day, and Atlanta leads 2-1.
Yeah, you want to break down that goal for us?
It was just a big mistake from the Swamp Rabbits. They end up icing the puck with about 7.8 seconds left in the second period. And for those of you who have been with us this season, you know about the Reed Lebster incident, which happened in one of the games in Utah. There was about a second, 1.1, a second and a tenth on the clock at the end of one of the periods in one of the games against the Grizzlies. It was the 4-0 loss in the final game of the three-game set. And silly me sitting there saying, yeah, let us drop the puck and we'll go to the intermission and whatever. And they end up dropping the puck, and the Grizzlies score in 0.8 of a second. 0.3 left on the clock. Lebster gets it done off a face-off victory, and the Grizzlies score. And what we saw here was eerily reminiscent to that play. I remember thinking, 7.8 on the clock, that is certainly enough time to where the Gladiators didn't need to just win the face-off and rip a shot on goal. They had a little bit of time to play around with it, and that's what they did. So Young wins this face-off on the near circle, gets it to Nychuk, who is behind him on the wall. Nychuk's got such great vision. He really sets up this play, dances around with it a little bit, sees Young create some separation, finds him, and it is just an absolute missile from Alex Young into the back of the net. You can't draw it up any better than what the Gladiators did on that play, and they score with 3.5 seconds left in the period, and they take a 2-1 lead.
And like we were talking about earlier, the keys of the game from assistant coach Zach Vanel. He said communication as one of the keys, and definitely seen I feel like sometimes watching the game, they have so much chemistry, so much energy together where they can read the plays so well when they're with certain line mates. So definitely saw that communication take place in that last play.
Exactly, and I totally agree with you on that play, Shelby. I think that is a set play that the Gladiators just executed. With that face-off win from Alex Young, you get it to Nychuk. He knows exactly where Young's going to be because that's something that you talk about before in your practicing, in your game plan. Then the Gladiators draw it to a T, and they execute it perfectly. And so Alex Young with the shot gets the goal, Nychuk with the assist. He is now he is now at 26 points on the season, Nychuk is, and then Alex Young extends his point total on the season to 27 with the 2 goals here today. And, it's been a good day for Alex Young and the Atlanta Gladiators. They look to keep it going here in the third.
Yeah, is it hat trick watch for this third period, maybe?
It is Alex Young on hat trick watch here today, and again, we talked about it back in the first intermission, but we'll bring it up again. This is a guy that really has had a great start to the season. Have been a little bit quiet over the last few games, but here today has exploded for 2, and it seems like when he's on his A game, he is on it, and today is one of those days. And I remember last night, Shelby, we talked about it where you need your stars to lead the way. But in other times throughout the course of the season, you're going to have those games where your depth guys need to step up. I would venture to say that you can almost put Alex Young in that big name star category with the way he's played this season.
I've definitely talked to Alex Young before. Earlier in the season, he was the leader in points. So I've talked to him before. So like you said, a little bit quiet these last few games, but coming back up and getting hot here.
Yeah, he has been good here today, and for Alex Young, picks up a multi-goal performance here. This is the 4th time this season that Alex Young has recorded 2 goals in a single game, but he does not yet have an ECHL hat trick to his name. So he graduated from Arizona State University in 23-24, joined the Adirondack Thunder, back to the Thunder last year, then got traded to the Gladiators. So this is his 2nd full season of pro hockey, and it has been a great year so far for the former 7th round draft pick of the San Jose Sharks back in 2020. And he looks to keep it going here in the 3rd period and extend this Gladiator lead and hopefully get them the victory here today.
Yeah, do you think that ending the period with a goal like that is going to lead to a lot of momentum going into this 3rd period?
Absolutely. I mean, that is a goal that will really suck the wind out of the sails of the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. There is a huge difference, I think, into going into a tie game in the 3rd period to trailing entering the 3rd period, and that's exactly what the Swamp Rabbits did. You think at that play, end of the shift, you ice the puck, you got to make one more defensive stand, and the Swamp Rabbits fail in doing so. And now, because of that play, they're trailing into the 3rd. Now they have to play catch-up, and I think that totally shifts their mentality and the way they're going to approach this 3rd period, because with the way the puck has been bouncing today, it really hasn't favored one side or the other, but all it takes is one bounce, and it's either a tie game or the Gladiators extend their lead to 2. And in a game like this, with the way the Hiders played, that might be enough to get them the victory here today. Remember, 9 prior meetings between these 2 teams, 8 out of the prior 9 decided by 2 goals or less.
And as we know, the 3rd period, but now as of yesterday, kind of tied with the best score or best goal scored when it comes to that 3rd period.
Yeah, the Gladiators with another big 2nd period. It ended up being that we did see a goal in the 2nd period. Looked like for a while there was going to be a scoreless 2nd period for both sides, with all goals coming in the 1st period, but Atlanta picks up another one, and so now you are correct. Atlanta 33 goals for in the 2nd period to their 33 in the 3rd. Look to bump up that 3rd period a little bit, get some extra insurance, and skate out of the building with a victory.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about what you want to see coming up in that 3rd period. But first, again, have another question.
All right, let's hear it.
So question for you, question for the chat, and it's going to be in regards of that 7-game road trip once again. Now, I want to know, do you pack early or do you pack day of? We're going to find out when we come back from the break. But let's check in with those scores. So the Atlanta Gladiators lead 2-1 against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits, and we'll see you after the break.
More than just cookies.
Desserts now in rotation.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear, we made hockey cool. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down, we go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you can win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Welcome back to Gas South Arena. Shelby Rabideau here with Guy Chiarenza, and we are going to be talking about what we want to see in that third period. But first, let's check in with our scores. Atlanta 2, Greenville Swamp Rabbits with 1. And honestly, it's been great here in Gas South, and Atlanta plays such a good game when they're at home. And I know Guy has a ton of statistics for us about that.
Well, they say there's no thing like home cooking, and the Gladiators have been cooking at home. 13-3, the Gladiators are in this building this season. And the first key to being a good team is defending home ice, and the Gladiators have done that very well this season. Hopefully on their way to 14-3 in this building this year, as we are officially over the first half of our schedule here of games slated in this building, and Atlanta has won the majority of them. They're going to be tested on the road here, which you alluded to before the break, with a 7-game road trip here at the end of the month. So I'm curious to see how they fare on the road, because it feels like to be a good team, take care of business at home. But to be a great team, a next-level team, you got to find a way to take care of business in enemy territory. We'll see if the Gladiators can do it next week, but so far so good. Another great showing here at Gas South Arena.
Yeah, and what line are you looking forward to watching play this third period? Who you have your eyes on?
So far here today, it's been the first line. That line has looked great. Alex Young with 2 goals. Another great performance for him. But what I'm really looking for here in this third period is I want to see if the third line can do it again. Had a great game last night. Francis 3 assists, Ciplo in a goal and an assist, and then Denemy with a goal as well. That was the line yesterday that got it done for the Gladiators, and you actually spoke with Brian Francis post-game. Let's pull up that interview and see what he had to say after his big performance from last night.
It was your first 3-point game of the season. What do you think contributed to this successful day?
Just playing confident, playing creative, trying to make plays, and my line mates were really good too.
And the third line with you, Denemy and Ciblon, has been fantastic today. What's it been like playing with them?
Good. They hunt pucks, play a simple, hard game, but are smart players as well. So it's pretty easy to play with. And we have some success in it, which is good.
Now, I've been watching you all season, and it's been fun watching you because I feel like you play with a lot of patience with the puck. And this is such a fast game, so how are you able to do that?
Yeah, it's just confidence, right? Just trying to make plays, trying to find my teammates, trying to play to the best of my ability.
And then last question, tomorrow's the end of the series against Greenville. What will you bring to your game for this last?
Just get off to a good start. It's important. 3 games and 3 nights. Both teams are going to be tired, so start will be important. Just play fast, play hard, play simple.
And they did play fast that first period, and it was a great start for them, and it might have contributed to the rest of, the turnout of this game.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I guess Francis hit the nail on the head there. I kind of previewed things to come from last night's interview. And the other thing that kind of stood out to me and what he said there was confidence.
Yes.
And that was one of the keys from last night from Matt Ginn. You think about the keys here today and what Zach Nell wanted to see out of this club this afternoon, mentality. And they kept that top dog mentality into this game here today. That third line playing with confidence, that first line playing with confidence, and so we'll see if that carries throughout the rest of the lineup here today. Felt like it's been a great game so far as a whole for the Gladiators. We've been here before. We've seen games like this all season long. Tight games, close games. Gladiators have been able to win these kinds of games all season long because of their structure, their goaltending, and their defense. They've held the Swamp Rabbits to 1 goal on the board so far here today, just 15 shots on goal. They are 20 minutes away from taking another win from the Greenville Swamp Rabbits.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to them coming out here with that confidence to hopefully wrap this game up. But before we head into a break, before this third period, I had a question for you and the chat. And it is, if you're going on a long road trip, do you pack the day of, or do you plan and pack early? So, Guy, are you packing early, or are you packing day of for this 7-day road trip for the Glads?
I'll say this. Because this road trip is so long and it's going to require some extensive packing, I will pack the day before.
Okay.
But there have been some instances this season where, for some road trips, I will pack the morning of and just kind of throw everything into my bag. And
you're one of those
we call it a trip. I'm one of those people where I'm not opposed to planning. I will plan from time to time, but for things like that, it's like, sometimes you kind of just gotta do things on the fly a little bit. It's like there's something that I'm gonna need that morning when I leave. Like I'm gonna need to like brush my teeth. I'm gonna need to do my hair and stuff.
Valid
I can't pack that the night before. So some of it can be done before, but some of it has to wait until the last second. It's kind of just how life goes, I guess. But for the most part, I do plan.
Okay, I make a list.
You
And I check
a
it twice.
checklist?
I check it twice. I do have a checklist. I get that going like a couple days or maybe a week. It depends on how I feel. I write down like how many days, how many nights, so I can plan accordingly. And I usually pack like a couple days before, but like you said, there's some things that you have to pack last minute. So I always have like a separate bag that gets packed the day I leave. But I'm a planner. I'm a type A type of person, so.
I feel like I'm a little bit of both.
Okay.
Like, for things that require extensive planning, I'll plan. Like big important things, I will definitely plan for that. But for some of the smaller things in life, sometimes you just gotta take it on the fly and kind of plan on the go.
And I'm trying to get better at that. That should be my word of the year. Adapt. I'm gonna mess it up. No.
Adapt?
Yes, but like a bit like added. Yeah.
Adaptability.
That.
All right.
Words are hard. Let's see what the chat has to say.
Looks like Daffy Doo is going with a day before and with a checklist. So Daffy's like you, Joe Mama packing the night before. I do pack some of my stuff the night before, but some stuff you just can't. Like I said, like the stuff that I'm gonna need the next day, it's gotta wait until the morning of. So it just kind of depends. I feel like, but looks like we've got a couple of people that plan ahead in our chat. As Lynette also packs the day before, so looks like we got some good planners.
Do you have a go-to road snack?
No, I try not to eat on the bus anymore.
Was there a bad experience?
There was, and I'm not going to share. I'm not going to share that. But I have been around the block a time or two. I'm still a rookie in this league, but I've done a few years of calling hockey games and going on the road, and I've learned what works and what doesn't.
You gotta get the snacks that don't have like if you can't eat like Cheetos or like anything that has like a remnants. I feel like that's the worst roadside like snack.
Yeah, I try not to eat, try not to drink. I drink as little as water as I can.
What if it's like 7 hours?
We ride. We ride it out.
Stay hydrated.
We ride it
That's
out.
crazy. Wow.
We sip. We take some sips.
Well, it looks like the Gladiators are coming back onto the ice, and again, we are 2-1 here. Gladiators winning here and leading in coming into the third period. So Guy will be here to do the play-by-play for that third period, and we will see you on the other side of the break.
It's game day and Bucky's ready for action. From the moment he pulls up, it's all smiles, high fives, and Beaver Toyota pride. A quick stop for snacks and he's game ready. The energy in the arena starts to build because when Beaver Toyota and the Gladiators team up, the fun and excitement never stop. Catch Bucky at the next Gladiators game or visit us anytime at beavertoyotacoming.com.
Life's too short for ordinary whiskey. Make it infamous. Now available at Mega Package Store, 2820 Lawrenceville, Sewanee, Oregon, 4 miles from Gas South Arena.
We are just about set for third period action between the Gladiators and the Swamp Rabbits. Both teams have taken the ice for the final frame of regulation. A quick one at the end of the second period from Alex Young has made it a 2-1 Atlanta lead through 2. The Gladiators trying to close this one out, pick up back-to-back wins here and steal the rubber match before their longest road trip of the year, beginning on Friday in South Carolina. Gladiators wearing their blue jerseys, with Gladiator gold numbers in trim. Skate from right to left here in the third. Swamp Rabbits wearing white jerseys with orange numbers and blue trim. Skate from left to right. Scardina will take the opening face-off of the third up against Ben Poisson. Gladiators looking to defend home ice yet again and earn their 23rd victory of the season. They're 20 minutes from that. Long way to go. We'll see how they fare. They win the opening face-off. Scardina rumbling down the right wing, cut off. As Greenville goes back up ice. Again, for those of you who are just joining us, and towards the end of the first period, Remy Parker slew foot Jack Mateer sent out of the game as a long shot fought off by Hyder. Second one by Murray kicked away. And so with that match penalty, Parker unavailable, and Wade Murphy not dressing here today due to an illness. Greenville down to 10 forwards for the rest of this game. We'll see if that affects them down the line, as it is the final game of a 3-3. He's got to be pretty tired at this point. Being shorthanded by 2 does not help in that aspect. Delayed penalty on the Gladiators. O'Hara tripped up on the zone entry. Seville to the bench, 6-on-5. Mastrodonado from the right wing. Glides it down low to O'Hara. Takes it in a return feed and then loses it. Sylvester will touch up. And off we go to the Beaver, Toyota, and Mazda penalty kill. And the culprit, Isaac Walter, 2 for tripping. And this is Greenville's chance to tie the game early here in the third with 1:10 already off the clock. Penalty killers on the ice, Nychuk, Mateer, Cipollone, and Denemy. Cipollone will take the face-up against Cam Hausinger, who has the lone Greenville goal so far today. Greenville already with the power play goal. Bit of a wacky one, as they force it towards the slot, kept to the outside by the Gladiators. From the line, Atkinson a shot, kicked away by Hyder. Mastrodonado with it, returns it to Atkinson. From the left point, he'll survey, locates Mastrodonado from the left wing, reconnects with Atkinson. Cross ice, O'Hara has it. Top of the right circle, burrows his way deeper, and now pulls away. It's caught up at the half wall, and Cipollone digging, probing, slapped it to the line, but Atkinson keeps. Left wing feed for a slapper, kicked out by Hyder. Mastrodonado with a good chance, but so far Atlanta able to silence the Maestros too. O'Hara in on the right side, centers for Atkinson, delays, and poked away by Denemy. Atlanta clears with 1:05 to go on the penalty to Walter. Now they bottle up the Swamp Rabbits on the zone entry. Bodies come together in the corner and they whack it all the way down for an Atlanta clear. Greenville so far here today, 1 for 1 on the power play. Gladiators 0 for 1 coming into the afternoon. Greenville's power play worst in the ECHL statistically, 11%. Gladiators penalty kill operating at 82.6% entering the day, about middle of the pack. And depending on whether or not they kill this one off, that number will either stay close to that figure or go down. Time will tell. 23 seconds left on Greenville's power play. Peterson grinds in on the left wing, shadowed by Denemy, distributes to the near corner. Conroy meets it first, tackled away by Sheriff, lobs it up the wall. Berg moving left, has level, takes it back in at the line. Berg scans, fires, hits a stick, and goes over the head of Hyder. Rebound comes to Sheriff, fires a shot, blocks his own man, and O'Reilly hit his stick out of his hands. Atlanta comes up with the kill as Walter out of the box. Back to even strength. Lovell rushes it through his own end of the ice. Through the neutral zone they go. Big John Parker Jones ripped a shot wide of Hyder. They'll swerve it over into the near corner. Gladiators punch out the center. Bouncing puck fielded by Burns and taken away by Brackett. McNamee is there to shimmy it all the way down. Bouncing puck. McNamee pushes the narrative from behind the cage. Exchanges with Scardina. He'll rip it up the left wing wall for Jarvis pinching in. Good effort, but couldn't quite keep it. It'll roll back to Orzek, his D partner. As this game here in the third period has already seen 4 minutes and 15 seconds gone by in the third. Scardina fires one off the stick of McNamee. Got a roll down below the goal line. Burns in pursuit. Mercyhurst product can't hang on to it. Greenville back out to center. Brackett down the middle. Powers the puck down to Hyder. He'll shovel it to his right for Walter. Turn up ice. Locate Nychuk, taking the return feed. And connect with Sylvester on the left wing. Return to Walter in the near corner. Evades a check. Looks to center. Hits the skate of Grissom. And the puck will go to Sheriff. They'll fire it across the neutral zone. Wanted Polino, but pass a tad offline. Now Sylvester jabs it into the near corner. Racing after it. Berg is going to get there first. Sylvester finishes his check. As the Swamp Rabbits will control. They'll turn it over at their own line, though. Errant pass out of the way for Sheriff. Conroy dumps it down to the right of Seville. Berg handles. Heaves it through the neutral zone. Plops down onto the stick of O'Hara, and he is offside. And so we will pause with 5:27 gone by in the third. So we've seen it moments in this season, and this game kind of a microcosm of it. Moments where the Gladiators are high flying, they can go toe to toe with the speediest of teams, and then in other times set up in a great defensive structure and just grind out these low-scoring games and turn them into wins. And I think that's what we're going to see here in this third period. Gladiators nursing this one-goal lead, but you got to think if they have a chance to add to it, they certainly will take that chance. Defensive zone face-off won by Greenville. They'll roll it down to Hyder. Little backhand feed on time for Carabia. Pass up the wall, hits the skate of Francis, and I believe he is feeling a little bit of that one. Springs back into action, though. Moving up ice with Denemy. Denemy loses it on the entry to O'Hara. Mastrodonato up ice. He fumbles it to Cipollone. Puck turned over. O'Reilly's got it. Winds it down to the trapezoid where Mastrodonato is checked hard by Jarvis. Divorces him from the puck. Greenville cutting towards the net. Good play by O'Hara, but not enough. Gladiators hold firm in that defensive structure. Squeeze him off the puck. Chip it down. More time off the clock. 13:40 to go. Parker Berg feathers it left wing. Bouncing puck through center. McNamee locates a Peltz. First year forward out of Grant McEwen University. Drives it down to the trapezoid and chases. Greenville with a series of quick passes. Able to escape their own end. Parker Jones cross ice off the skate of Peterson. Rolls to Nychuk. He will scoop it up. Throw it out to center. And Greenville's forced to regroup and reload. Parker Jones back on the hunt. Drifting left over the attacking line. Feeds it deeper for Atkinson. Centering feed hits a skate. Goes out of play with 12:58 to go in the third. Gladiators keeping that 2-1 lead that they got at the end of the second period. 12:58 to go in the third. We are back to Gas South Arena after this from our local partners.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
We're 20, and yeah, we're celebrating big. Because in 20 years, we didn't just make the gear. We made hockey cooler. They said we were too loud, too flashy, too different. They told us to tone it down. The Warriors don't tone it down. We go full throttle. And this is just the start. 20 years in and we're just getting warmed up. We're still the brand that makes the gear you could win in, chirping, partying. And if you thought we were bold before, just wait. The next 20 years start now.
Wendy's has new chicken tenders. Crispy, juicy, tendery, tendies. Ooh, that's fun to say. Tendies, tendies, tendies. And they're so good, maybe we should change our... For tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
Face off to the right of Hyder. 1-goal lead for Atlanta with 12:55 and counting left in regulation. They'll wire it to the neutral zone, and that'll end up going down as an icing. Clock stops with 12:47 left. So, it feels like we have been here before, and if you've ever watched a Gladiators game this season, this is pretty much the formula. Most of the time, low scoring. Most of the time, their opponent held to under 3. And most of the time, the Gladiators victorious. The Gladiators won 1-goal games at home, 6-1. Shot snapped up by the glove of Hyder. A little bit of a skirmish in front of the Gladiator netminder, who to this point has stopped 19 of 20. And the Gladiators this season, when they hold their opponent to just 1 goal, are 8-1. So that would be enough if this score holds, but still plenty of time. Greenville from the right point level, a shot. Hyder grabs it. Didn't quite know where it was at first, but yes, Ethan, you got it. And he hangs on with 12:33 left in the third. So this game kind of grinding down to a halt here with whistles in quick succession. Gladiators take this opportunity to get a line change in as the first line comes back on. Next broadcast of Gladiators hockey will begin the 7-game road trip. 7 games in about 11 days. It is going to be a grind for the Gladiators. And we'll see how they fare starting in South Carolina on Friday. 7:05 puck drop. We will call it 7:45 pregame show right here in the Gladiators Broadcast Network. Make that 6:45, not 7:45. Face-off, won by the Gladiators. They get out to center and a little bit more. Sending up shot for a long shot that goes wide right of Seville. Greenville snacks it up ice, developing 3-on-2. Sheriff will go behind the net, stay on his forehand. Cycles back up top, sets up a shot by Modry. Gets deflected on the way, but Hyder fights it off. And now an errant pass intended for Modry goes well wide of the intended receiver. And Greenville gives Atlanta a free clear. Swamp Rabbits look to find an avenue to go up ice. Find along the left wing, Hausinger racing after it, cut off by Conroy from the end wall. The Yale product able to escape the heat. As Cipollone on the run, cross-ice feed, broken up by the stick of Grissom. Greenville able to wrestle in on the left side. Polino burrows his way to the corner, gets spilt down by Carabia, the big defenseman. And the Gladiators are able to pick it free. Conroy out to the line, held in for a shot that gets blocked on the way. Carabia with the loose puck, slides it through neutral ice, no icing. Atlanta gets a full change in. 11:03 to go in the third. Cross-ice pass on the money for O'Hara. Drops it off, intercepted by Nolan from the red line. Berg able to wrestle it away. Murray chases it deeper into his own territory. Slaps it off the end wall, reconnects with Berg. Back to Murray. Greenville, home run pass, picked off by Jarvis. At the red line, forced into the boards, puck leaks free. McNamee with space, rattles it around to the left wing for Nolan, crashing in. Pinned up at the half wall, 2 Swamp Rabbits, 2 Gladiators. Atlanta able to skip it free, and it goes right back into the pile. Burns digs it free a second time. Tries to cut to the inside, forced through the neutral zone by Berg. Puck will trickle back down behind Seville with 10:14 to go in the third. We have seen some epic battles in this rivalry this season, and the Gladiators have come out on top in most of them. 7-2 against Greenville this season. This, the 199th all-time meeting between Atlanta and Greenville. How will this one end? Gladiators able to smack it out to the neutral zone, Lovell and the Swamp Rabbits try and come bursting right back in, but the Gladiators stuff him on the entry. Here is Walter from the right wing, popping it off the end wall. Sylvester chases to the near corner, backhands it to Young, centering feed, broken up. Greenville goes up ice. Again, stymied on the entry. Gladiators holding firm in their structure, giving the Swamp Rabbits nothing to work with. Greenville will try again. Atkinson, former Gladiator, locates Lovell. Francis and that third line putting on some pressure. Under 10 minutes left in the third. Greenville taking its time, getting a lay of the land and completing a line change. They'll skip it along the left wing and they turn it over. Cipollone in open space. Piece of the goal line. Back inside. Francis couldn't get a piece of it. Goes out to the neutral zone where Carabia will field it. He'll knock it off the near glass for Cipollone. Moving with Francis. Puck goes to the corner. Francis held up. Had his stick grabbed by Grissom. Wanted a call looking right at the referee. Didn't get it. We keep playing. Francis gets the puck back. Has to do the dirty work again in the near corner. Battling with Grissom. He's able to hold firm. Conroy in the slot on the backhand is denied by Seville. Remains a 1-goal game. Denemy looking up ice. Moving stride for stride with Carabia. Finds the open man. Carabia down the right wing. Rips a shot. Fought off by Seville. Greenville with the loose puck, takes it to the neutral zone. Murray has Mastrodonato on the right wing. Drop pass, not one but two. Murray fires into traffic. That gets blocked and sent to the line where it's held in by Berg. He'll take a shot of his own, blocked by Jarvis. And the Gladiators force it out to center and a little bit more. On the run, Scardina dangles. Can't put the finishing touch on it. Centers for McNamee. And he has it shouldered away by Seville. Nolan in neutral ice, swerves into Greenville territory. On his forehand, centers for Scardina. Broken up by Berg and sent to the end wall. You'll have it in open space. Gassed Gladiators go off for a change. 7:17 remaining in the third. Greenville pitches it in. They'll get a change of their own. And you have a whistle with 7:11 to go in the third. It is Atlanta 2 and Greenville 1. Gladiators looking to close this one out when we come back to Gas South Arena. Whistle blown due to a high stick.
Gwinnett Fire and Emergency Services is ready to answer the call, but we'd rather prevent them. Our free home safety survey includes checking smoke alarms, identifying common hazards, and reviewing your family's home escape plan. Schedule yours today.
Feels like everyone's trying to copy the $5 piggy bag. So how could he spot a knockoff? It won't taste like Wendy's. This job is easy. When the deal is as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
More than just cookies.
Desserts now in rotation.
Face off to the left of Hyder. 1-2 Nightshuck. Scoops it up the line and out of play it goes as Lovell tried to slam it deeper. A little bit of frustration showing for Tim Lovell. Head down, slaps the stick into the boards. And this is a very frustrating team to play against. The Atlanta Gladiators are so good at what they do. Seen a lot of that from their opponents this season. Lovell from the right point. Steers it down to the trapezoid on the money for Brackett. Climbs up the wall, return to Lovell, cross-ice feed to Atkinson, gets there. He'll rip a shot, hits a body, that goes wide of Hyder. Around we go to the line. Lovell sidestep, escapes Sylvester, but not Walter. Gladiators through center now as Walter gets slammed off of it by Atkinson. Parker Jones enters down the middle, comes down the left wing, pulls to a stop and fires, blocked by Mateer. Great defensive stand from Mateer. Greenville keeps it at the line. Murray, cross ice for a shot, blocked by Francis. And Nightchuck will shuffle it out. 6:08 to go in the third. Gladiators get another change in. Cipollone creates a turnover, leaves it for Denemy. Puck rolls off his stick, couldn't get a shot away. Greenville strips it, goes up ice. Denemy on the back check, catches up to Hausinger. Cipollone with it back for Atlanta, angles it off the wall for Francis. from the right wing, drives deep, backhand centering feed, intercepted by Berg. Parker Berg weaves to the neutral zone. Puck rolls off his stick. Francis up ice, right down the middle, slows up, and just softly chips it down to the end wall. Smartly, draining some more time off the clock. Greenville wires it down to the near corner. Bodies bundled together there. Chipped down to that pile. McNamee off balance. Can't get it out. Greenville has Mastrodonato behind the net. He'll center for a shot. Hyder gets just enough on the drive from O'Hara. McNamee tries to wrestle it to the line. Can't get out again. Lovell, long try. Deflected wide of Hyder. Nolan slaps it up the wall to the line. 4:39 to go in the third. Slinking down the wall. Greenville centering feed away from the intended target. Good effort by O'Hara, but ill-advised error. Forces Greenville to retreat and rethink. They start their next breakout, lobbing it to the right of Hyder. From there, Mateer jockeying, tries to get possession back for Atlanta, and does. Young out of the fray, still on hat-trick watch. Smacks it to the neutral zone, batted out of the air by Sylvester. And the Gladiators rip it down to Seville. We'll keep an eye on him. They score 2-1 in favor of Atlanta with 4 minutes to go. Touch pass to the inside. Peterson's shot blocked by Nychuk. This Gladiators defense has eaten a lot of shots here today. Parker Jones, long try, off the post and out. Greenville inches away from tying the game, but the iron kind to Ethan Hyder and the Atlanta Gladiators. Oh, Parker Jones, gotta be looking to the heavens on that one. Just put a prayer towards the net and almost got there. Contested puck in the neutral zone. Francis is able to snatch it. 3:14 to go in the third. Francis up the ice, moving with Conroy. They'll fling it around the boards to the right corner for Cipolone. Pass intended for Francis below the goal line is intercepted. Puck will go the length of the ice, out of the Greenville zone. Fielded by Conroy. He'll wait behind Hyder, but doesn't have much time to think. Turns it over to Sheriff on his forehand. Shot is blocked. Cipolone gets a body there, and the Gladiators come up big. From the right wing, Polino pulls up, smacks it into the body of Jarvis. Wrestles it to the line. Mickey Burns there as well. Greenville digging deeper, but it's not enough. Atlanta lifts to the neutral zone. 2:32 on the clock. Puck driven in by the Swamp Rapids. Mastrodonato helps it to the line. There is Berg for a long shot into the glove of Hyder with 2:19 to play. Gladiators holding on to a 2-1 lead. Can they get the job done again on home ice and take the rubber match? We're about to find out at the end of the break. Gladiators 2, Swamp Rapids 1. We are back after this. This one going right down to the wire. 2:19 to go in the third. Gladiators up 2-1. Greenville has pulled their netminder. Seville to the bench, 6 on 5. Gladiators lifted through center. Young looking to the empty cage. It'll bounce there. Has the aim, but not the muscle. Taken away from that area by Atkinson. And Greenville still down by 1. Would have been a full 200-foot play there from Young into that empty cage, but did not have the mustard on it. Greenville rips it to the right wing. Puck fished out by Cipolo and tries for the empty cage, and it just bounces wide on the far side. No icing, though, as it hit a stick on the way. Sheriff bounces through the neutral zone. Young at center, leaves it for Denemy. His shot off a stick, no good. Polino from the left wing, flying on in. Gets his way below the goal line. On the backhand, able to chip it to Hausinger. Waiting at the half wall, helps it to the line. Jabbed away by Cipolone. And icing on Atlanta with 70 seconds to go. I wonder if Chad Costello thinking about using his timeout here. On one hand, your big guns are tired themselves, but on the other hand, so are the Gladiators. But looks like Costello doesn't really care about that second fact all that much. He'll take his timeout and think things over. So here is how we got here. Gladiators strike first, and they strike early. Alex Young, 1:23 into the game from Sylvester, and Walter gave the Gladiators a 1-0 lead. Greenville knotted it up at 1 with a power play goal with 22.4 to go in the first period from Cam Hausinger. Assist going to Polino and Berg, and then what has been the go-ahead goal and could end up being the game winner if this score holds, Alex Young. With 3.5 seconds left in the second period, has his second of the day. Greenville ices the puck. Gladiators have a face-off on the near circle. They win it. Young puts it home. Set play executed to perfection. And that is the difference. Face-off to the left of Hyder. Young will take it against Hausinger. Still 6 on 5. Net empty for Greenville. Swamp Rabbits with it off the face-off. Mastrodonado. Back up to the line for Berg. Sets up a shot. That is blocked. Rebound comes to Berg. Greenville stays alive. 55 seconds to go in the third. Centering feed. Broken up by Nychuk. Puts it to the empty cage. No good. That goes wide. Icing on the Gladiators with 47.5 to go. And I wonder, Nychuk was feeling some pressure there, but I wonder if he would have been better off if he just kind of lobbed it to the neutral zone instead of trying to get the muscle on it to get there to the empty net. Ends up going wide on the near side, and Greenville's won another face-off and keep it alive. Sheriff from the left circle throws it across to Mastrodonado. Gets it to the line. Berg across, sets up a slapper. That goes wide of Hyder. Rebound behind the cage. Sheriff will emerge. 30 seconds to go. Berg from the line has Sheriff at the half wall. Down low they go. Centering feed. The trailer is there. Missing the shot is Polino. Sheriff walks the line. Leaves it for Berg. Right point to the goal line. O'Hara tries to stuff it in. Blocked by Hyder. And he covers. And doesn't get a whistle. Puck leaks free. Gladiators slam it to center. 10 seconds to go. Sheriff motors to the left wing, slap shot, that's blocked. They're offside with 5.1 left on the clock. The Gladiators have just absorbed everything the Swamp Rabbits have tried to put on Ethan Hyder. Block after block. This Gladiators team is just eating a ton of pucks here today. Great shot blocking from this Gladiators team. They've certainly played like they wanted it. They're 5 seconds away. Neutral zone face-off. Right in front of the Gladiators bench. Crowd getting loud. They can feel it on the horizon. Gladiators 5 seconds away from another win. And taking the rubber match. Puck is dropped, slapped down deep. And that will do it. Atlanta hangs on. They take this one 2-1. Ethan Hyder ends up stopping 22 of 23, earns his 30th win in a Gladiators uniform, and now has sole possession of 5th place on Atlanta's all-time wins list. A job well done from the Atlanta Gladiators. And what more can you say? That's Gladiators hockey, baby. They score when they need to. And they hold their opponent to just 1. And that has been the Gladiators' bread and butter this season. And the key play of the game, the set play at the end of the second period. Greenville ices the puck, 7.8 to go. Plenty of time for Young to win the face-off. Hit it to Nychuk, returned it to Young for the game-winning goal. With 3.5 seconds left in the second period. Big day for the Gladiators, big day for Ethan Hyder. He picks up his 12th win of the season. Gets the job done on back-to-back days. Gladiators take the rubber match by the final score of 2-1, and they improve to 23-9 on the season, heading into their longest road trip of the year. For Greenville, they fall to 14-16-4 with the loss here today. That'll do it for us on Peachtree Sports Network. Thanks for all of you who are joining us from PSN. We bid you farewell, and thank you for watching this presentation of the ECHL. For those of you on Flow Hockey and YouTube, we have got the 3 stars of the game coming up next here from Gas South Arena. Big win for the Gladiators. They get the job done without their all-stars here today. They'll take the ice later tonight in Allen at 7 o'clock p.m. for the ECHL All-Star Classic. Catch that on NHL Network. How about catch this? Chad Nychuk, 3rd star of the game, was the man who found Alex Young on that set play for the game-winning goal. 1 assist on the day for Nychuk, ends a 3-game scoring drought, which isn't very long, which is saying something about how good of a season he's had. Nychuk, your 3rd star of the day. Your 2nd star of the game, Ethan Hyder, made some sensational saves when he had to. Hyder has really bounced back after the 5-2 loss to Savannah. 2 straight wins for 31 in blue. Hyder ends up stopping 22 of 23 for his 12th win of the season, his 30th win in the Gladiators jersey. He is now past Craig Kowalski for 5th on the Gladiators all-time win list. And it should come to no surprise, your 1st star of the game, number 13, Alex Young. 2 goals here today. Both of the Gladiators' goals come off of his stick. The first one coming very early, 1:23 into the game. Backdoor setup from Sylvester and Walter. The second one off a set play with 3.5 left to go in the second. He is downstairs with Miss Emma Harp. Let's see if we can tap in. Alex Young is your 1st star of the game. 2 goals for number 13. Brings his season total to 11. And seems like this year when Alex Young scores, he scores twice. The Gladiators have gotten the most out of him and then some this season. Great first full season for Alex Young so far here with Atlanta. For Young on the campaign, that is now his 4th multi-goal game this year and his 8th multi-point game. So he has been quite the player for the Gladiators so far this year. He and Atlanta will look to take that momentum on the road, as that is the last game from Gas South Arena here in the month of January. Up next, the season's longest road trip and what I think is going to be the Gladiators' biggest test. More on that in a moment as we break this one down and look ahead to Friday night in Charleston. So here's how it all went down. Alex Young scores first. 1:23 into the first period. The Gladiators this season, when scoring first, are now 19-2. There is something about the way this Gladiators team, the way they play when they have the lead, they get it early. In this one, Young from Sylvester and Walter, that gives them the lead. Greenville able to bite into that, though, later on in the period. Bit of a wacky sequence. Remy Parker slew foots Jack Mateer, ends up getting a match penalty, 5 minutes on the board. Parker is ejected, and Greenville, who is already skating down a player here today with Wade Murphy out of the lineup due to illness, game time decision, not good enough to go. Greenville dresses 11 forwards. Well, now they're down to 10, and they were with that number for pretty much the majority of the final two periods, and it feels like it did impact them in the long run, but it actually ended up working out for them, though. At the end of this first period, Ryan Nolan gets called for a double minor for high sticking. And so the penalty to the penalty to Parker expires. Peterson was serving it. He's out of the box. Greenville to a quick, brief power play, and then they end up scoring on it. It is a late first period goal on the power play from Cam Hausinger, from Polino and Berg to make it a 1-1 game. You head to the second, deadlocked at 1, right down to the end, and it really felt like we were going to go into the third period still tied at 1, but Greenville makes a massive mistake on what would end up being the game-winning goal. They ice the puck with 7.8 seconds left to go. So you get tired Swamp Rabbits on the ice. Gladiators get an opportunity to run a set play to win the face-off, and they do. Alex Young wins the face-off, quickly finds Nychuk, moves into position, does Young. Nychuk returns it to him, and he rips it home. Alex Young just in the nick of time with 3.5 seconds left. Makes it a 2-1 game, and that would end up being the difference. Ethan Hyder and the Gladiators defense would take care of the rest, as Atlanta is then able to win this game with Hyder stopping 22 of 23. And round to his 12th victory of the season and his 30th in a Gladiator uniform. In terms of the special teams battle, Greenville goes 1 for 2 on the power play. The Gladiators 0 for 1. So Greenville does win the special teams battle, but it doesn't matter. The Gladiators get it done 5-on-5, and they make the Swamp Rabbits pay at even strength. And that is the name of the game for the Gladiators. Another low-scoring battle for this Gladiators team, and that really has been their bread and butter this season. We saw at moments in the third period the Swamp Rabbits frustrated, could not get anything to bounce in their favor. Gladiators had them on lockdown mode, and the biggest takeaway for me in this game was, not the way that Alex Young played, not the way that this Gladiators team played offensively, but the fact that they were able to eat so many shots, just blocking shots, making things as easy as possible as they could for Ethan Hyder. Now, don't be mistaken. Hyder did have to make some highlight reel saves of his own, but this Gladiators defense certainly helped out and contributed to this victory, blocking a lot of shots, especially towards the end of the game when Greenville was just trying to get anything they could get towards the net, and the Gladiators would not give it to them. So you got to give a lot of credit to the boys in blue here today. They fought for this one, and they take the rubber match by the final score of 2-1. Gladiators now 2-0 in rubber matches this season, and 1-0 on Mondays. We'll have 3 Monday games this season. The next one next week. Let's take a look at this 7-game road trip for the Gladiators. So this is the gauntlet. Schedule came out in the offseason, and immediately this was circled. It is going to be a grind. Starts in Charleston on Friday. 7:05 puck drop. It is going to be a 6:45 pregame show to kick off this road trip. So you've got the game on Friday in Charleston. Gladiators get a day off on Saturday. They head to Orlando, play 2 against the Solar Bears, Sunday and Monday. There you go. You get your second Monday game of the season, and that'll be the second game of the 2-game slate against the Solar Bears. Then the Gladiators head to Estero, play the Everblades on Wednesday. Another day off, play on Friday and Saturday in Estero. Then you go to Greensboro, February 3rd. 10:30 a.m. It is a school game in Greensboro as the Gladiators make their first ever trip to Greensboro since the Gargoyles have become a franchise and pro hockey has returned to Greensboro. Should be interesting, to say the least, this road trip coming up here. So you think about what the Gladiators have been able to achieve at home. Dominance. The Gladiators this season on home ice now 14-3. One of the best home teams in the league. And, I've always said, to be a good team, you got to win your home games. But to be a great team, to be that next little team, a championship caliber team, you got to find a way to get things done in enemy territory. The Gladiators are 9-6 on the road this season. They played once in North Charleston. They lost that game. Were shut out 1-0 at the hands of Mitch Gibson. Going to get a do-over on Friday night. Gibson called up in the AHL right now. We'll see who the starting netminder is for South Carolina on Friday. But this is a team that the Gladiators have matched up very nicely against this season. I think it's going to be a low-scoring battle, but I think it is going to be a grueling matchup that should favor the Gladiators. Atlanta so far this season, 2-2 against the Stingrays, and we'll see how they fare. And then you see the Orlando Solar Bears and the Florida Everblades, two teams we have not seen since the second weekend of the season in late October. And I think this is going to be very telling, not just because the Gladiators are on the road, but I think it gives you two matchups against two teams that have had two very different stories to their season so far. You've got Orlando, who had a disastrous start, ended up on that massive losing streak, double digits, and they ended up turning things around a little bit, and things seem to be on the upswing for the Solar Bears, but the problem is they might be running out of time. Nobody has played more games in the South Division than the Orlando Solar Bears, but they have been playing better hockey as of late. Recently got a win over the Idaho Steelheads yesterday, and quick check at the out-of-town scoreboard will tell us that the Solar Bears have won again. They have defeated the Jacksonville Icemen 3-2 here today at Kia Center, and so Orlando now up to 14-19, 4-1 on the season. We will see them on Sunday and Monday, and then your biggest test of the year, a team that has been in a spot that they've been in before. The Florida Everblades back on top of the South Division. Seems like year in and year out, Brad Ralph has got this team as a perennial playoff contender, and we see them for 3 in Estero. And that was a building that, over the last few years, the Gladiators have really struggled in this season, but there's always a game or two throughout the course of a season that ends up being a statement win. And the game against Florida, I believe it was the 4th game of the year, the 2-0 shutout win from TJ Semptimphelter, and this Atlanta Gladiators team in Estero kind of signaled a new coming of the guard here in the South, because it really put the league on notice and the division on notice that this Atlanta Gladiators team was legit. They shut out the Everblades in their own barn, stopped a massive losing streak in Estero, and it really was the emergence of TJ Semptimphelter kind of just saying, hey, I'm here. And ever since then, he has put the league on notice. And, oh, by the way, he is at the All-Star game. So if they don't know by now, then I don't know what else to say. So the Gladiators will face their biggest test of the year so far after this road trip. And I think coming out of this road trip, we're going to learn a lot about this Atlanta Gladiators team. And it all starts on Friday night from North Charleston Coliseum. 7:05 start time, 6:45 pregame show. We've got it all for you here on the Gladiators Broadcast Network. So be there or be square. And the Gladiators will drop the puck on the road trip in SoCo. So that'll do it for us here from Gas South Arena. The Gladiators take the rubber match against the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. Now 8-2 against Greenville. But now they'll look to silence the doubters here for this road trip, as a lot of chatter about how the Gladiators have only played Greenville. The Gladiators have only played Jacksonville, two teams that are towards the bottom. Well, now they get to hang with the big dogs. South Carolina, Florida. We'll see you next week, and we'll see you there. Gladiators look to stay on their winning ways after winning 2 games in a row at home to get back on track before this road trip. I'm Guy Chiarenza saying good afternoon and so long, and we thank you for watching this presentation of the ECHL. And for those of you who have been listening to us while on the job at work, we thank you. And make sure you tell your boss about Gladiators hockey, and maybe come out to a game sometime when you're off the clock. It's always a fun time here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all again next time on Friday night from South Carolina. Have a good holiday, and we'll see you there.